Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome to episode 144 of the It's Obvious Gaming podcast. I'm your host, Preston Pugh, and I'm joined across the web by my two best friends, Garrett Drake.
I'm always intrigued by your presence, Preston, when you're in fact invisible and you're just a voice in the ether speaking to us on these episodes. It's good to have you, you ghostly man. Thank you for having me.
And Jacob Alka.
Good afternoon or morning or evening, whenever you guys are listening to this.
I'd love to take a poll on Twitter for fun. Where people listen to us the most? Is it at home? I don't know who would do this. I rarely listen to podcasts at home unless I'm playing like a grindy video game, for example. But I listen to the vast majority of my podcasts in the car, as I imagine a lot of you out there do. But just out of curiosity, I'd like to know what the second most platform is. Is it in the car? Obviously, car is probably number one, but would number two maybe be at work? Possibly.
Or at the gym?
Or at the gym, yeah, especially. That's what you do.
No, it's not.
You don't listen to podcasts at the gym? You listen to tunes?
I do.
I used to bounce back and forth when I was going to the gym consistently. I would listen to either a podcast or an album of some sort. But it's funny about listening to a podcast that has a lot of humor in it, where you're just laughing to yourself hysterically in the middle of the gym lifting weights. You look like a psychopath. Just really enjoying yourself.
Yeah, I can't. I wouldn't be able to listen to a podcast working out unless I was just like running or something. But anything else, it like would distract me.
Mm-hmm. It's weird because I get distracted by music when I play video games. It's impossible for me to, I mean, not like music in games, but if I listen to like a band, for example, with lyrics and stuff while I'm playing a shooter, I'll suck so bad.
Yeah.
So,
See, Preston, you said that though. I don't mean to interrogate you, but don't you listen to podcasts and play games at the same time sometimes?
Yes, but only games.
What's different?
Well, I only listen to it with games that I can mindlessly play. Like if it's a story-based game, then like I turn it off. But if I'm playing Monster Hunter and I'm fighting something for the 30th time, or I'm just running around an open world collecting stuff, then I'll listen to a podcast.
Monster Hunter.
You guys still playing that? Or are you done?
Nah.
No, I'm done.
Nice.
I'm donezo.
I went over 100 hours, so it definitely was not a waste of time nor cash, and I enjoyed pretty much every single hour of it. Great game.
I'm glad to hear it.
It was a good one. Nice. Early game of the year favorite.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Great.
It's going to be a busy year, though.
I don't think anything's quite landed on my game of the year list yet so far. I mean, God of War will probably be on there. It looks like it's going to be on there.
God of
also
War
sounds
is
like it.
Going to make me cheese myself.
I'm very, very excited for that game.
Yes.
It's going to be a very busy season of my life when I play it, but I'm excited.
The only thing that I've really seen at the top of people's list right now that are even talking about that is like Celeste.
Yeah. That's I need to finish that. I'm nicking away at it slowly but surely. But every time I pick that up, I thoroughly enjoy myself.
I almost picked it up this week out of town, but instead I played Mario Odyssey instead.
Yeah, so you finished that up yet?
Yeah, I finished it up. I'm just hunting moons and stuff. I still don't have a lot. I got to like 260, so I'm still like I've hardly done anything compared to y'all.
Man, Mario Odyssey seems like the kind of game where you could just have an endless wave of DLC. If you just add new worlds and new moons for people to hunt down just periodically over time, you could keep that game going for 3 years if they wanted to. And people would buy it. Man, I'd probably, at the very least, pick up the first DLC, whatever it is, of like a new world or a few new worlds, for example.
I'd pick them up for sure.
So,
yeah. I think that they would do something like that. I'm pretty sure there was a rumor going around earlier this week that they were going to do something like that later on.
That would be, I feel like it's in their best interest. If they want to rake in that cash, man, that's a cash cow waiting to be exploited. Milked, yeah, that's a good word.
Have y'all been to the dark side of the moon?
I have, yes.
Yeah. That's
I've not completed that, though. I attempted it once. I was like, don't have time for this right now.
Yeah, you have to beat all the rabbit things in one go.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're really not that hard once you read their moves.
Yeah, the only one that was irritating to me is the green one. he would like, for some reason, like, even though, like you said, they're easy to, see their moves and stuff and dodge easily, but he would always just nick me for some reason. And but the rest of them were really straightforward.
Yeah, I'd say because of that portion of Odyssey, I think I'd say or categorize Mario Odyssey as the Dark Souls of the Mario franchise.
I would agree with that. Good one.
Yeah. How was everyone's week?
Awful.
Yeah, you mentioned yours to me if you have any interest in reiterating it.
I mean, I worked like 70-something hours.
In old Texas, right?
In old Texas, yeah. It was just an overall awful experience, and I'm glad that I've wiped my hands from that. So that's all I really have to say about that.
That's nice. Did you have any barbecue while you were over there?
No, I did not.
That's an absolute, almost burped, absolute shame.
We didn't have time. Like I hardly had a lunch break, man. It's like I was eating like mixed nuts and like protein bar as I was working, and every other day I would like sneak off with a coworker and we'd go get like a run to like the Panera Bread like right next to us, or like Chick-fil-A or something, and grab something fast and run back.
I got to be real with you, Preston. There are days to this very day that I still miss working alongside you and the other gentlemen that we worked with.
If you were with me this past week, I don't think you would say that.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, even just the mere tastes of weeks like that I got.
I miss it too. I miss you too, Garrett.
I mean, those were some great times, and always a nice hard day's work was always rewarding.
Yeah, even with the hell of going through what I went through, at least the people I was with made it tolerable. So
absolutely, that's
always good.
Gets you through it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But how about your week?
Mine was actually very eventful. It's weird because I was so busy with work and school, as I typically am, but I managed to play so many video games sporadically. Not full games, but I did review a full game for COD Connected, which I'll get to in a bit. I'll kind of list all the games I played and then kind of go into each one individually, like some eventful experiences I had in each one. But first, I'll start by telling you what the beginning of my week was like. I ran sound for a bunch of metalcore bands at Smith's Old Bar, which metalcore bands come through Smith's maybe once every few months because it's just not really that kind of a scene. But every now and then they'll book a full lineup of bands like that. And it was hilarious and awesome because 3 out of the 5 bands, their members had Veil of Maya merch on. I was like, dude, I love that band. And one of the bands I ran sound for opened for them the first time we saw them at the Masquerade. Preston,
okay. Yeah,
they're called Mirthless.
Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah, they sound freaking awesome. Especially, they sounded great live, but their album especially was really good. And anyway, it was awesome because I've always wanted to run sound for metalcore bands, and it sounded just as great as I hoped it would, and it was just as much fun as I thought it would be because it was just basically like running sound in the Masquerade, but it was at Smith's Old Bar. But the most interesting aspect of all of that wasn't really just the bands themselves, because all of them individually are really good. Another fun fact, Preston, you remember that band that our old high school band used to play with at Swayze's called As Animals Eat My Insides?
Yes.
Yeah, I ran sound for them too.
Nice.
And they've been a band for 7 years. And I was like, man, they're still kicking. And it was funny. Their vocalist, super nice guy. But the last time I saw him was shortly after we graduated high school. His band opened for that other band we played with called No Life. They were from Michigan. They're no longer a band anymore. But they were on tour and they came back through Swayze's. And me and John from our old band were like, man, we should go see them because they were really good. And I kind of want to support them. And it was fun playing that show with them. So me and John went to their show. It was like a Wednesday night way back in the day. And we were the only 2 people at the show. The only 2. And honestly, I felt so bad for him, but the band that opened for that band we went to see was As Animals Eat My Insides. And their vocalist, I guess, was just having a bad day, and he was pissed that no one was there to see him except for me and John, that he kept screaming at me and John, like, fucking move, like, jump up and down, mosh. And he was like screaming at us for an hour, and we would just stand there and like, I mean, at least we're standing there listening to them and not just sitting in the corner. But I remember,
fucking move.
Yeah. I remember he, at one point in the middle of their song during a breakdown, jumped off the stage and shoved me with what I imagine to be all of his physical strength. And I like stumbled back a step or two, and he just like shoved me as hard as he could, and then got back on stage and started screaming again. And I was like, all right. It's because he wanted us to mosh so bad. But I just distinctly remember that. And then he was a super nice guy, and I ran sound for him, but that was kind of cool. But anyway, the most interesting part of the night was, this is a long show too. It was from like 4 p.m. till close to midnight. And for about 8 hours, I was totally oblivious to this fact. But the door guy came up to me at one point. He was like, dude, do you realize he was just standing behind you for like 6 hours? He was directly behind me. I was like, no. He's like, Andre 3000 was standing behind you that whole time. I was like, what? So Andre 3000 from Outkast came to this metal show and was just listening to it right behind me for 6 hours. And I guess he had gone to the bathroom because he came back and listened to the rest of the show. And after the metal show, obviously people realized he was standing there, and like 100 people were taking pictures with him, and like the managers came out and were talking to him and everything in the venue. And he came specifically to listen to the headlining metalcore band Mirthless, and he even bought their album after they played, and he showed him that he had bought it. Wow. And I didn't realize this, but he has lived in Atlanta a long time, and he said, he told the managers, I've driven past Smith's 1,000 times, I've just never come in. He's like I just felt like coming in tonight. And he came to the metal show and just stood there and listened to him. So I didn't talk to him because a million people were talking to him. Of course, this is one guy from the audience is like, I'm on a podcast, you should be on my podcast. And he was like hounding Andre 3000 about being on this podcast. It could be big, I don't know. But it was just cool that Andre 3000 was.
You should have stood up and be like, no, you should be on my podcast.
Do you like video games, sir? But I thought that was kind of an interesting experience this week at work. It's just it's like 2 music venues I've worked at now. I didn't meet Andre, but have been at the venue while I'm running sound. It's kind of interesting. First Ruffalo, now Andre 3000. Who's next?
Oh yeah, you did meet Ruffalo, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it was a fun time. I was like, I got to be honest with you, Mr. Ruffalo. You're the last person I ever expected to meet here. And he's like, well, you never know. I was like, cool.
Oh.
He's like, yeah, I just Googled like jazz clubs in Atlanta, and this one was like rated #1. So I just came to hang out, and was like, cool.
Oh, yeah, you did work at a jazz club.
Yeah, and then he morphed into the Hulk and killed everyone, and he just like winked at me, and I was like, he ran off. So it was pretty cool. But interesting week at work. Before I talk about games, I just have to throw this out there because it was just so nostalgic and I enjoyed it so much. My mom, when I got home the other night, was watching the end of the Mask of Zorro. It's the first one with Antonio Banderas, and it's that guy who's been in a billion movies, and he was Hannibal Lecter. He was in Silence of the Lambs. I always forget his name.
Oh, that's
Richard Nimoy.
Yeah, that's the one. Anyway, Legends the sequel. Mask of Zorro was on, and I was watching the ending action sequence, like the big climactic action set piece at the end, and it's like these mines and these workers are in prison there, and Zorro's running around like this real set with real props and actors and like doing this big action scene. And I was so appreciative of this scene because I've just seen so many Marvel movies and just general superhero movies. I know Zorro's not a superhero, but nowadays just the overuse of visual effects. I know I bring this up like every podcast now, but I won't go on a tangent about visual effects, but it's so refreshing to see an action scene with real actors and stunt performers and an actual set and not 90% of it green screened, because it just looks authentic. It feels real. And it's just a good old fashioned action scene. And I was like, man, if only we could get back to making, I know most Westerns are usually practical these days when they're still made, and which are rare. But when I was watching it, I was like, man, I would just love for more movies to be like this again. It just looks good and it feels good to watch. And Zorro specifically, I remember loving as a kid because he's basically the Batman of the Wild West. I'm like, Zorro is so cool. And I love that movie as a kid. And I was thinking, man, we could really go for a just down to earth, old school type Western with Zorro. Not necessarily Western, but that feel of a Zorro movie, like a reboot of Zorro based in the Wild West. And I think, I think his name's Diego Luna from Rogue One. I think that guy could make a really cool Zorro. And I was like, man, it'd be really cool if we rebooted Zorro.
Okay, so I have 2 candidates for Hannibal here that I think is the one you're looking for.
Okay.
Is it Anthony Hopkins?
That's the one, yeah.
Also, Mads Mikkelsen also.
Yeah, he's on the TV show, which I hear is really good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Zorro, man, it was just awesome to watch. I was like, man, I miss the days when action scenes weren't 90% fake. But
You need to get with the times, bud.
Zorro, man, we should reboot it. And I was like, man, maybe for fun, even though I never plan on doing anything in film, I'll just, when I'm bored, work on a Zorro screenplay of some sort and just pitch it to a studio one day and see how it goes. I heard a rumor they were going to make like a Zorro based in 3,000 years from now, like a futuristic Zorro. I'm like, that sounds stupid. So
give it a chance.
It has nothing to do with video games or this podcast at all, but I just had to throw that out there. If anyone else is interested in seeing a Zorro reboot, let me know. I'd love to talk about it with you. Maybe I'll throw it in the movie section of Discord.
Well, speaking of movies, let me make a quick comment here.
You gonna talk about Grinding Nemo?
Yeah,
best term I heard all week.
On my way to Texas, I
watched a movie.
I had an in-flight movie, so I thought I would check out The Shape of Water, the Best Picture winner at the was it the Oscars or Academy Awards, or is that the same thing? Okay,
yeah, same thing. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I checked it out, and I have to say, man, the cinematography fantastic, the acting superb, the soundtrack dynamite. The movie itself, I thought it blew ass. The story is dumb. I mean, I don't think it's a shock to anybody because it's like become a joke now, but I just don't understand why people are like fine about this woman banging a fish guy. Like, I don't understand.
A fishman.
Even there's a no spoil. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a part in the movie where the main character, who's a mute girl, I already forgot her name. She's friends with this girl named Zelda at the like government facility they work at. And she comes in the next morning after screwing this fish thing and is like all smiles, like her world just got rocked. And Zelda is like, "Why are you smiling? Why are you smiling?" And she's still just smiling. And she just goes like, "Oh, did you do that?" And she's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Well, how did it work?" Like she's like, fine.
Doesn't she like sign language how it works or whatever?
Yeah. She like moves her hand like a clamshell opening. Then she sticks her finger through it. Like he has this like retractable like garage door that a dick shoots out of, and her friend is just like, "You go, girl, like like get you some." And I'm like, this isn't normal.
Fuck that fish.
Oh yeah,
this isn't normal. And there's just a lot of pointless sex in the movie. It shows her masturbating in the shower like within 2 seconds of the movie starting. The main antagonist like bangs his wife for no reason, is like in there for no reason. I think there's even another one it's just like, what is the point of this? Like, I don't understand. And they try and make you, the bad guy is a dick, which he is phenomenal. I forget who he is, but
Michael Shannon.
Yes, dude, he kills it. Like,
holy crap, he kills it.
Incredible. But they made him to be this dick for you to hate him because besides all that, dude, I was on his side. He's trying to get this crazy fish thing back in habitation while it's like out in the wild, but they're trying to make you like hate him and stuff and like be like, "Run free, fishman, be free, roam the waters." And he's just, they were trying to kill it, but like, that thing's pretty dangerous. It like sliced his fingers off. It cut some dude accident there. And I'm sorry if I'm spoiling anything, but I'm not giving away any like major plot details. But their cat, the mute girl's like best friend that she lives next to, the fishman goes over there and rips the cat's head off and starts eating it. I'm like, so this thing isn't meant to live in a civilized society. So I honestly was kind of on the side of the bad guy. But, well, I shouldn't say that because he makes like a racist comment every now and then, and he like tried to like rape the main girl.
The fishman?
Yeah, I was hoping you'd say the fishman.
No, because
now you've sold me.
He does some dicky things, but I feel bad for him because, well, I'm just not going to say anything. But it's like they had to do everything in the world to make him like the bad guy, because besides that, he would be the good guy trying to like get this fish thing. I think
that's what's so interesting about Guillermo del Toro's movies is that between this one and his previous one, Crimson Peak specifically, it's like the visual effects, the set design, the acting is always incredible, but the story seemed to be lacking a little bit.
It just was like I've heard it described like this, and this is exactly what it felt like. It felt like a really adult fairy tale, but with it being in a, like, I can't really say grounded because there was this fish things talking about, but just seeing real people and just knowing that this girl was like wanted to, because for her, when they had sex the first time, this thing's just in her bathtub and she just wakes up and just like throws her clothes off and she's like, it's go time. Like there was no like, it just happened and it was just like, okay, I guess this is happening now. And they get away with it, dude, because into looking into fan theories, apparently she's like 10% fish or something. Like she
10% fish.
Yeah, they like, she's an orphan and they found her like on the river or something. So they're like, oh, I guess she's like an evolved form of this fish species. So I guess that makes it 10% better. I
think
guess
she'll have fish hybrid human fish babies,
I guess. But I'm not going to spoil the ending, but I like chuckled at the ending of the movie, and you should have just seen the faces I was making watching this thing. I'm sure people on the plane thought, just they're like,
dude, what row were you sitting on? You're a bold man to watch something like that on an airplane.
I was in the middle seat, so the two people on the side of me were watching like this fish porno. So,
that is hilarious. Yeah. It's like I always choose my movies wisely on a plane for that exact reason, because every now and then I'll like look down the aisle and someone's watching some raunchy sex scene of a movie, and like, and they're just sitting there like it's normal, probably thinking like, please end soon, please end soon, please end soon.
Yeah, you can't care what people think.
It's like everyone who watched what was that movie that came out with Nicole Kidman and I can't remember anyone's names on this podcast. I'm so bad with names. It's called Beguiled, The Beguiled. Apparently there's some gnarly sex in that movie too, and like 30 people were watching that on a plane. I think all of them went into it having no idea, because I haven't seen it yet, because it's just I've heard all the reviews just like, oh, so much sex, but that's why I didn't watch it on an airplane. I heard the movie itself is really good, but that's a big part of it
because of the sex.
Yeah, exactly. Just like Shape of Water and the fish sex. That's the only reason it won Best Picture. But groundbreaking in that sense. And you can't really argue that. It really is groundbreaking. I've never seen a woman have sex with a fish on camera. A fishman.
Yeah, well, they don't actually show it, but it's implied the first time. Then the second time, they just kind of float in the water with each other, just mushing, just like squeezing each other.
It's incredibly romantic.
Yeah, it is. It's very. That's some of the like, just the words describing this movie are just like heartfelt, like
breathtaking,
so romantic and stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? So I would love to.
Next time I'm in the ocean, perhaps I'll have a conversation with a few fish, see where it goes.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like the more I think back on it, I don't think I can say it blew ass if like the actual filmmaking of it and acting were like phenomenal, but it's just like I just didn't like. I'm just a little shocked that won Best Picture, honestly.
I can't even remember what the contenders were. I didn't watch this year's Oscars, and there were a lot of movies I didn't see this year.
I didn't watch a lot of movies this year.
Me neither.
Yeah. I had an off year.
I don't know. I would be very interested if there's anybody out there listening to this, if they could just write down in the comments down below or go to our Discord movie tab, and if you liked this movie, tell me why, because I'm at a little bit of a loss as to why so many, if this was critically receivable. I don't know if I'm missing something, if I'm so dumb, if there's something that is like symbolized throughout the movie that my dumb mind can only resort to fish sex or something like that. But anyways, I still would be interested for you to see it, Garrett, because I would love to just kind of know your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch it at some point, mainly just because I do like Guillermo del Toro's movies for mainly the reasons that you liked about it, just that like this, mainly the set designs and the acting and the visuals and everything. I mean, have you seen Crimson Peak?
No, I have not.
Yeah, visually that movie is so cool. Those are probably the coolest ghosts I've ever seen in a movie before.
Wasn't that movie kind of just like, besides
that was a very movie mainly due to the plot, but
yeah.
The stronger aspects were the same things you listed for Shape of Water. So
yeah,
I wish, kind of like Michael Bay, I wish someone could write Michael Bay's movies. I know he doesn't really write them. He's kind of involved in the writing process of Transformers, as an example. But If he could just
Are you saying Transformers are not perfect movies?
Yeah, of course not. But if he could just direct like all the action sequences of a film and have someone else write and direct like the dramatic bits, I think
just focus on this.
Like imagine directors if they could team up and have Guillermo del Toro work on the visual side of things, Michael Bay direct the action scenes, and then maybe who's like a really good dramatic actor or not actor, director these days. There's like a billion. But
what if like every year one movie came out and everyone worked on that one movie?
Right. Yeah.
It was like the best of the best. And every year we had just an incredible movie, but that was it.
Yeah. Speaking of the Oscars, I think I mentioned this over a year ago when we were having the similar discussion. My school did this survey where you could vote on or predict whatever you thought every single winner was going to be at the Oscars. And I somehow managed to get a 100% on the Oscar ballot last year. And I won some kind of award that I forgot what it was at SCAD. It was like all over SCAD's website, like, congratulations to Garrett for winning our Oscars prediction or something. It was like 45 questions. I got every single one right. And it was fun. It was funny for Best Picture when I was filling it out online.
I saw the March Madness bracket this year.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, man. Yeah. But it was funny because just based on reviews I had heard and just the way movies looked in trailers, half the movies I hadn't even seen, but I just could tell. It was like I can almost predict what the people who vote on these awards are going to think. And when I was picking Best Picture, I literally bounced between La La Land and Moonlight like 3 different times. I started with La La Land. I was like, no, Moonlight's definitely going to win for these reasons. I was like, oh, but then again, La La Land has this. And I ended up going with Moonlight. I think I keep wanting to say Moonlighters. There's a game called Moonlighter, but I think it was just called Moonlight.
I never did see Moonlight.
Yeah, me neither. I don't think I will either. It's some more sex stuff in that too that I just could care less about, but heard it's great. But I ended up going with that one, and it was indeed correct. And I got duped. Remember, they thought La La Land won at that Oscar, so I was like, dang it. And Moonlight won. I was like, oh, cool. So that was a funny experience. But I didn't watch any of the Oscars this year. I didn't see half the movies either. There's a bunch of them I want to see. I just haven't had time or the accessibility. Like several indie movies that came out or just...
I didn't even see Dunkirk.
Me neither. I never had a chance. I was so busy. Yeah, it's a shame because I heard that was a great theater experience. Well, so that won for best sound design or something, didn't it? Sound mixing.
I have no idea.
It won something like that. I think it was sound mixing.
I don't know anything about the Oscars this year.
Well, what sucks is like on that flight, I could have watched Dunkirk. I could have watched Blade Runner. I could have watched so many other things.
Dude, I think you need to watch Blade Runner on your fancy TV at your house.
Yeah, have you seen it yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah, that movie, Roger Deakins definitely deserved his Oscar for that. But that movie is a prime example. When I say visual effects can be better, like that is easily one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen. I mean, the visual effects look completely real.
Great soundtrack too.
Mm-hmm. One of the coolest visual effects sequences too, when he another sex scene. We're talking about sex scenes movies, but the sex scene in Blade Runner is very tastefully done, but it's one of the most visually beautiful scenes I think I've ever seen in a movie. It's incredible, and it shows what you can do with technology today.
What do you mean? Like, were the titties nice? Is that what you mean?
No, it doesn't show anything like that. It just shows two girls, like an AI girl, like a virtual girl, combined with a real human being. Or I guess I don't want to spoil it, but they kind of morph into one person, and visually it's like just the coolest looking thing ever. And I remember
I can't even say that word with a straight face. Like, that killed me to even say that.
What?
Titties. That's just like... that's just like a word that's not a part of my dictionary. That just felt just foreign to say.
Yeah, I don't use that word either. There are a lot of slang terms I don't use.
Yeah,
I don't think that's really a slang
like term. Jacob's breasts. I never say Jacob's tits. That's just, I don't like the way that feels on my mouth.
I have tits.
Well, anyways,
Jacob's breasts.
After grinding Nemo, I whipped on the second, the Golden Circle, Kingsman.
Man, how long was this flight?
It was like 2.5 hours. So I only got to watch like 20 minutes of
Golden
Kingsman.
Circle.
Yeah, but man, those 20 minutes I saw were badass. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, but I've seen it twice.
Okay, yeah, that opening scene, like in the car, that like whole fight scene was awesome.
Yeah.
And then I got like to a part with where the main guy's like at a dinner party with his girlfriend's family.
Yeah,
and that's where it had to end. But I thought the villain was really cool too. She living in this ancient forest and a 50s diner to make her feel at home. I thought that's just really cool. So I'm gonna have to pick back from where I left off at some point, because from what I saw, I definitely probably should have watched that instead. So
yeah, I enjoyed Kingsman. I like the first one more, but the second one has some good stuff in it for sure.
Okay, cool.
It always makes me want a really badass suit and secret agent gadgets.
Dude. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I guess I'll just end with the other thing that I did this week, video game wise. Like I said, I played a little bit of Mario Odyssey on the way home. I picked up a couple more moons, which was a lot of fun. That's a really good plane game. Just because I don't really want to. I tried to play Xenoblade, but it's so hard to play on a plane. Just to kind of get into it. And I really like playing that game on my actual TV. It just kind of seems a little cramped on the handheld. It's definitely doable, but, rather do it on the TV. So stuck with Mario, great playing game, just to kind of, you can just pick it up and put it down. But besides that, I played I don't want to say a lot, but for the most I played probably within 10 hours of NCAA 14. On the old Xbox 360. In my hotel room. I'm playing the Dynasty, and of course I've picked the Bulldogs, and I imported the roster from this past season. And
are they still updating that game?
Fans are updating it, so
wow,
you can enter a gamer tag. There's like an entire website dedicated to people that still play that game. And so I've got the roster of last year, but I'm going through 2013's season with 2017's players. And there is there's like this RPG element to the game. Like you level up your coach, you level up your defensive and offensive coordinator. Like for an example, the perk tree on your offensive coordinator is you hold on to the ball more, so you're at less of a risk of fumbling. And your defensive coordinator, you can rush the passer more efficiently. You can ice the kicker better. As the head coach, you can upgrade your recruiting tree, because throughout the season, you actually recruit players to, join your team and commit to you. And there's the top 100. And you look at the 4, 5, and 3 stars and look at their rating, what type of quarterback they are, like if they're balanced or if they're just a straight up pro style passer, or if they're a scrambler and stuff. And depending on how you play, if you don't throw a lot throughout the season, then a more pro style quarterback is going to look at you and be like, no, you need to throw this many more yards before I might be a little bit interested in you and stuff. So it's really cool how it's like I said, like an RPG, but with football. So I'm enjoying it a whole lot. I'm almost done with the season. I only lost one game. My first game was an opener against Clemson, and I lost by a heartbreaking field goal by them at the last second. But that was my first game ever playing. So I'm sure if I would have played them again now, I probably would have won. But yeah.
So is this one of those deals where you just play your character? Or did you not make your own character?
No, I didn't make my own character. I played as the whole team. And what's cool is my quarterback is still Jacob Eason, because obviously he hasn't got hurt yet. So it's like an alternate universe where Eason's still the quarterback. But yeah, I pretty much just run the ball almost every other play, and Nick Chubb is the leader of the Heisman standings right now, and has a stupid amount of rushing yards. Obviously, it's not realistic. So a lot of things are just funny. Alabama has 2 losses in the season already, one to Virginia Tech and the other to LSU. So
ridiculous.
Definitely not completely realistic, but it is really cool to see just like I said, this fake alternate universe of football where crazy things are happening, where Vanderbilt is second in the East. Just stuff that is never ever going to happen. But
it might happen one day.
Yeah, I don't know about Vanderbilt. I don't know about that, but yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. I haven't been into a sports game like this ever, I don't think. And I can see myself playing this game for a while. Because me and Jay played a quick match last night, and it was so fun. And yeah, that's pretty much all I played. And like I said, I can see myself dabbling with that quite a bit. Just especially with there being no football, dude, it is feeling that void. Just seeing just college football stuff, it's keeping me a little bit, at ease, because I'm so desperate for that to come back. So, but anyways, yeah,
I think you need help, man.
What?
That sounds great, actually.
Yeah, I even watched college basketball this week as I was working, and was severely let down by Georgia. So much so that our coach got fired.
Did he?
Yeah, Mark Fox got fired. Yeah,
man.
Yep.
I've been to one Georgia college basketball game in person.
Oh,
yep.
Must have been fun.
I can't remember who they were playing, but I watched a portion of the North Carolina Duke game. I think it was the ACC championship I was watching.
That's North Carolina, Virginia.
I watched a Duke North Carolina game the other night. My dad was watching it.
That might have been the game before the finals, but the championship game for the ACC was last night, and it was Virginia and North Carolina.
Okay, so North Carolina must have gone on to beat Duke then, because I didn't watch the full game. I watched the part of the first. Do they call them periods? Or I know it's only 2 periods or whatever.
It's 2 halves, I think.
2 halves, that's what it is. But yeah, that was kind of cool. I mean, every time I watch college basketball, even if it's brief, you can just see the passion in those players, man, and the effort they put into it. I mean, NBA can be pretty intense, especially in the finals, but can be side by side like a normal college basketball game versus NBA game. Like NBA game's so leisurely compared to college basketball, man. They go so hard. It's very entertaining.
They play for 1 year, then they get drafted.
What's the point? That's what I like about the once it gets into the tournament bracket, like 1 game elimination. It's just it's they intense. Give everything in their soul to win, which is like why I like college football too. Because 1 game, if you lose 1 game, that can F up your entire season. So it's like it's essentially the entire the season is single elimination. Not completely, but you know what I mean. Just definitely don't want to lose a game in the regular season.
Totally.
But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. It's
cool,
literally all
Jacob.
I played with video games. So
yeah. How was your week, Jacob?
It was pretty good. Back to the normal swing of things this week for me. Was it last week that we had the wedding? Was that correct?
That was
it was last week, right?
It wasn't last Thursday. It was the week before that.
Okay. God, I don't even know anymore. My weeks are just bumbling together, jumbling together. Yeah, it was a good week. For some reason, I was really just extra motivated to work out this week, so I spent more time than I actually usually do in the gym. It was nice just to work out and feel like I'm, accomplishing things in the gym. It just feels nice.
I told you when you walked in here earlier, I mean, I see you weekly, so obviously it's hard for me to notice any real progress, but every now and then, Jacob, this morning being one of them, I was like, man, you look effing jacked.
Maybe it's just because you haven't seen me in so long that you
I saw you last week, didn't I?
Ooh,
last week's podcast?
This time last week, yeah.
It's just every now and then I look at you, I'm like, man, Jacob's a beefy individual.
Well, thank you.
And that's why I'd like to make love to you.
Yeah. I enjoy you making love to me.
Yeah, as do I, Jacob.
It feels nice.
Always. It's always a pleasure.
I played games this week. I've been watching The Office still.
What season are you in now?
I think I'm still in the same one with Robert California.
Classic.
But Dwight took a team down to Tallahassee to work on a project. I think they're opening up those stores for Sabre. Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
And they're like working under Nellie, that redhead chick.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the interaction between Dwight and Packer is hilarious when they're trying to both like seduce Nellie to make themselves the VP of the project or whatever. It's just funny. And yeah, I mean, The Office, everyone knows The Office is hilarious. I'm just enjoying going back through it again. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty much almost through it. So I imagine after I watch The Office, I'll finally move on to, I want to say Defenders or Jessica Jones season 2.
Yeah, good luck getting through Defenders, man. That bored me.
I'm gonna try
death.
it. Still watching The Flash and Arrow. I keep threatening to quit, but I keep watching them. Surprisingly, they're actually getting better as the season's going on.
That's what's so hard for me to continue. It's like there are moments I'm like, this is great.
Don't
go
back.
Then it dips real low, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And then I hear like, it's getting good again. I was like, well, I kind of want to watch it.
There's been some pretty lows this season for both shows.
That's such a shame. It's like if they could, I mean, I know it's hard to be consistent with 23 effing episodes a season that I swear last 8 months out of the year. It's like they take multiple breaks.
Every time they get towards this time of year too, in the spring or late winter, they take like 2 or 3 weeks off out of nowhere. Like, I don't know what they're doing.
I guess it's just the way they film it.
I guess.
It's pretty active set, I believe. It's like they'll film like 5 or 6 episodes, and then as they're coming out, they're still filming as the course of the season goes on.
It just seems like there's so many breaks. Like,
right.
Come on.
I bet you those actors, though, for a long time love it because it's consistent work. Yeah. And those shows are super successful. But
barely numbers are dipping for Arrow.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, that show probably needs to end. I mean, that's the thing about CW. If people are watching, they keep their shows going for like 20 seasons. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like Arrow season 25. But
it'd be in their best interest to end Arrow, or at least pass the mantle on. Let someone else have a try.
That'd be pretty cool. I kind of reboot it with like maybe Oliver Queen is still in it as like a mentor, but just every so often he pops up to be like, "Hey, kid, you should do this."
Yeah,
I don't know who would be the new Arrow, but.
Could be Diggle, maybe.
Isn't what's his name? Not Artillery. What are they called? Arsenal. Is Arsenal back?
He was back this last episode.
Is he back for good, or
I don't think so?
Because I thought they were teasing that because he comes back every now and then.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I need a paycheck. They're like, all right, come back.
I mean, after the last. I mean, I can't really say anything without spoiling anything. Do you care?
I don't care. I don't know if people listen.
He was kidnapped by the evil guy in this season, and he's being forced to testify against Oliver. Because the whole thing in this season is that someone knows that Oliver Queen is the Green Arrow, and like the FBI knows, and they're taking him to court for it. And he's the mayor of
Star City.
Yeah, so it's like a big deal. So he's having to live by day as the mayor and by night as Green Arrow.
Right. Man, how that show has evolved since the beginning. I know we talk about this every now and then. It's so pointless.
Yeah. and like the team's falling apart. So it's Felicity, Oliver, and Diggle against.
That's how it should be.
Against the other three that were on the
that's
team.
like the max it should be, I think. I preferred it when it was just Diggle and Arrow.
Yeah. I mean, that's why the show's gotten better, is because there is that feud, and it's not like, oh, we're a big team. We're all happy now.
So stupid. Team Arrow. F off. Mm-hmm. Give me Arrow killing people violently with arrows, and I'll be happy.
He's shooting people with arrows now. So.
Does he shoot him in the face like he used to?
No.
It's a shame. Shoot him in the toe. He's a bad guy. He's a murderer. Shoot him in the foot. Anyway, you should probably move on. You have anything else from this week?
No.
You played some Overwatch, didn't you?
Yeah, I played a couple things. But are we talking about games now?
Yeah, let's talk about video games.
Streamed Overwatch one night. It was fun. I think everyone had a good time to play with me. I think we had a full 6-stack for one point. Yeah, it was kind of fun.
Would you look at that?
What else? Played a little bit more Kingdom Hearts 2. Mm-hmm. I am in, what's it called? Halloween Town.
Love that place.
Great world. And the great thing in Kingdom Hearts 2 is that it's Christmas themed as well. Yeah, there's like that portal that goes to Santa's workshop, and that's always fun.
I distinctly remember that you fight. What's the big snowman's name? The big sack
bag
man?
Of bugs.
Yeah, that guy.
Oogie Boogie.
Oogie Boogie. That's right.
I'm literally like about to walk into Santa's workshop to fight him.
Yeah, so I remember that boss battle.
I'm excited to do that because it's one of the better worlds in that game. Besides that, I've been playing a lot of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That game is pretty good, Garrett, and let me tell you why. The narrative, the story in the game, the most important part of the game is fantastic. Wouldn't you agree, Preston? The story being the most important thing in the game?
Yeah, dude, above all else, my man.
But no, seriously, I really am enjoying the story of the game. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. I just didn't expect it to have such a compelling story for some reason.
What
I thought there'd be other aspects of the game that I enjoyed more.
What game are you talking about?
Xenoblade.
Oh, yeah. It is a good story.
Yeah. I like the dynamic between even not only just story wise, but combat wise of the blades and the drivers. The whole dynamic there. I love the strategy and the combos you can do by switching blades and doing combos with your teammates. There's one thing I'm a little disappointed in, and it's sometimes the combat just feels a little boring sometimes, but then other times, like I find myself having fun with it, so it's kind of weird. I don't know how to explain it.
They're just a lot of the battles are just very long, I would say.
Right,
even if you're fighting like a mob of just weaklings, it can kind of still be a little long.
I often find myself just trying to run around things because I don't want to sit in combat forever.
Yeah.
The questing's okay, like all the side quests are just kind of busy work, but it's fine. Because I know I'm working towards leveling up, and it'll make things easier in the main story. I don't know. Mainly, it's just cool to be playing on my Switch. I know I keep saying that I love playing on my Switch, but I'm dead serious. I fucking love the Switch, and
whoa, calm down.
I'll play anything on it. I'm excited to finish this game, and I'll probably move on to Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2. That'll be my next things to check off the list. Hopefully I can get towards those before Far Cry, so I can make a executive decision whether I want to play that or not.
Dude, I think you should. It looks outstanding.
Yeah. I'll be waiting for that review.
Even just beyond the core gameplay and the story of that game, just everything else they've added to it, like the arcade mode and the map editor and the DLC they have coming. I'm like, this looks like a magnificent package. I'm very excited for it. Granted, this is coming from someone who still really enjoys just good old-fashioned Far Cry gameplay, but everything added on top of that makes me really excited. And the setting is growing on me a lot. At first I was like, oh, it's kind of boring, like the setting, but I think I'm really, really going to be into it upon the little snippets I've seen here and there. So actually going to be reviewing that for COD Connected. I'm pretty excited.
Nice.
So,
but yeah, I've put in 25 hours into Xenoblade, and I'm
25.
25.
Wow,
yes.
excellent.
But that's all I played this week.
Very cool. Preston, you mentioned what you played already, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Played some football and some...
Played football.
Mario,
correct.
Yeah, and I'm downloading Final Fantasy 15, a Windows edition, on the computer as we speak right now. So I'm going to get up in that shit.
Yeah, dude, that's going to look so awesome on your PC.
Dude, it's not about the graphics. It's playing one of the best games of our generation we're talking about here.
I understand. So on my list here, whenever I do our notes, I always write down the games I play because I can never remember unless I write them down. I'm so excited about Hunt Showdown recently that I wrote it twice by accident on my list. So I played a few things. I played Hunt Showdown, Warhammer Vermintide 2, Gravel, and Murderous Pursuits this week. So I guess we'll talk about Gravel first. Gravel is a racing game from Milestone, and they're infamous for many racing games, like the MXGP motorcycle series, like racing bikes, several racing games, but they're kind of like a AA studio, like AA racing games they make, but a lot of them are pretty good, and there's a pretty sizable fan base for those games that I was unaware of because I don't typically play those games. But the first taste I got of Gravel was at PAX West last year. It was one of the games me and a colleague of mine previewed. And at the time, I thought it was kind of fun. It was interesting because you can kind of make it an arcade or simulation type experience based on the way you can customize the game. I think that's probably the greatest aspect of it, is just how deep the customization goes, because you can kind of make it what you want it to be. And an off-road racing game is essentially what it is. All over the world, different settings, different off-road vehicles and whatnot. But that landed on my plate for review, and I had a pretty decent time with it. I gave it an 80 out of 100. I don't think the review's actually published on the website yet. But the game was pretty cool. I mean, I don't often play racing games, but I had a good time with it. I mean, the campaign was a little short, but all it really is just all these varied types of races all over the world, like the desert, the beach, the mountains, the forest. And I think the race types were pretty cool. There's your standard lap-based, like circuit tracks, and then there's also checkpoint races, which are always my favorite kind of races in any racing game. Where that's a cool gift, Jacob. Thank you for sharing. Where you race from point A to point B, which those are always fun, which isn't uncommon in most racing games. But there's also smash 'em up races where when you're racing, it's kind of like Mario Kart, where it's like
or
a series.
Obliteracers.
Yeah, exactly. Where there's like a series of items you can pick up, and instead of picking up items, it's like an arrow that's either green or red, and you have to drive through the right arrow, or if you drive through the wrong one, it'll just like smash your car. So those were kind of fun. Just different varied race types that kept me entertained throughout the majority of the campaign, and the different cars were fun to use, and no microtransactions in the game, which is pretty cool. All the vehicle cosmetics and your ranks and all are just unlocked through just playing the game. And your rank transfers from single player to multiplayer, and you can play either one and continually rank up your vehicles, which is pretty cool. I got my ass kicked in online modes that you can play capture the flag with cars.
Wow.
And I was terrible. But I played it. It was pretty cool. But it definitely doesn't stand up against like a Forza or Gran Turismo. I haven't played the new Gran Turismo, but even the Crew for that matter, it's definitely lower on the list, I would say, as far as being graphically as impressive as those games. But I thought it was pretty good for what it was, and I played that and reviewed it for COG. It was a good time.
Nice.
So, first racing game I've played extensively in a very long time.
Well, Mario Kart. Let's not exclude that.
Yes, that one's extra special. Yeah, Gravel's pretty cool. I played a beta for Murderous Pursuits on PC. You guys heard of Murderous Pursuits?
I have not. Tell me about it.
Have you heard about this, Preston?
I have not.
Okay, I think it's an indie game. I can't remember who developed it. I'll have to look into it again. But it's essentially Assassin's Creed multiplayer fully realized in a sense, where you obviously play with multiple people in a set area, and you all pick which character you're going to be, and you're handed different targets throughout the match where you have to hunt them down and kill them without revealing yourself. And meanwhile, people are hunting you as well.
Okay.
So the art style is very cartoony, kind of reminds me of maybe like a Dishonored art style, sort of. And you're on this futuristic spaceship where, I don't know if it's futuristic or not. Maybe it is. I can't remember the lore. But you're on this big airship that flies around the world, and this really rich guy wants to become his assistant. I guess your character you play as in the narrative wants to be his assistant because it's a really great job. But in order to become his assistant, you have to impress him by assassinating other people in the ship.
Impress me.
So you pick a character. There's a series of like 5 or 6 characters you can pick from with different skins and whatnot. And you spawn in this area, and there are a bunch of NPCs, and it's like a big dinner party essentially. And there's also online players you're playing against. And you're assigned a target, and there's all these areas throughout the map that you can kind of blend in and disguise yourself in. There's like little circles you can hide in of like, oh, I'm going to pretend I'm eating this apple looking at this painting like other NPCs do, or I'm going to jump into this circle of NPCs where they're having a conversation. And the whole point is to act like you're not a real character or a real player the whole time. And you have this little bar that lets you know how close you are to your target, but it doesn't always reveal your target. You kind of have to, it's kind of a guessing game, and I play a lot of mind tricks on the other players because you can communicate with them the whole time. And I did a video with one of the other COG guys that's going to be coming out later this week where it's hilarious how we're trying to trick each other the whole time. Like he'll be like, oh shit, and like he'll have died somewhere, and if he even accidentally mentions even relatively where he is, I'll know where he is. Now, the other people you're playing against aren't always your targets, but every now and then they will be. So it's always like a mind game of trying to pretend like you're someone else or trying to pretend like you are elsewhere. There was one occasion where I figured out who he was because of a mistake he made like 10 feet away from me, and he didn't know who I was. So he ended up going to stand over this railing and just look out upon the horizon, and I went and stood right next to him acting like an NPC. He's like, so where are you right now? I was like, I can't reveal that. And I pretended like I was struggling with something, like I was elsewhere, and he just stood there. And then I realized finally that he was my target, and I assassinated him. But it even goes beyond that, which is interesting, is that there's different weapon stations throughout the match in these treasure chests. And every time you kill someone with a weapon, to get more points for each kill, you have to find the weapon that's the highest rated weapon on the map at any given time. Okay. So every time you use the highest one, it resets and goes to the lowest level. You have to find a new weapon. So you always have to be sure to pick up your weapons at times where you don't think a hunter or whoever's hunting you is around, because if they see you grab it, they'll kill you instantly because they know you're a real player. So it's interesting in that aspect because the art style is really cool. The gameplay is all about tricking the other players and staying hidden. It's very stealthy as well, so I enjoyed that. But what was something else? Oh yeah, the narrator. I don't know if it's the same guy, but he sounds exactly like the narrator from the Haunted Mansion ride at Disney World, where he's like, "I will be your host, your ghost host." That's exactly what he sounds like, and it just makes me think of Disney World the whole time. So I loved it. But interesting little game. It's pretty fun.
Sounds like something I would like to try.
Yeah, it's pretty. I think that I don't know if the beta is free on PC or what, but you can get it on Steam. But pretty interesting gameplay, because I never really got into Assassin's Creed multiplayer. So people in the comments were like, "This is just Assassin's Creed multiplayer," but for me, it's fresh because I've never played anything like that. So I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
played that, and as I mentioned, I played Hunt Showdown. Dude,
still on Hunt.
I feel like I'm one of the few people in our community that are really, really enjoying that game. It is addicting because it is so tension filled, even beyond Rainbow Six Siege. And that's one of the things I love about Siege is they can be filled with tension and anticipation for a lot of the moments in that game. But Hunt takes that tension to a whole new level, dude. When there's only 8 people on the map and you don't know if you've ever actually killed someone. Like there have been countless firefights where I'll get in a shootout with someone and I'll get a hit marker and then they'll like disappear behind a tree. And I don't know if they're still alive or not. I'll go 10 minutes and not know. And I'll do this giant flank around half the map just to get to where they were. And I'll find them dead. And I'm like, yes, I killed them. Because that's what's so exciting is that you don't know how many people are left because there isn't like there's this many people left. It's just a very minimal HUD. It's very grounded and realistic in that sense because headshots will kill in one shot. Firefights do just freak me out so much because you don't know if you're going to live or die. And you don't get nearly as much experience if you die. And it's especially tension-filled when you get one of the monster's bounties and you have to escape and you know someone's out there waiting for you.
So what do you need for experience? Like, what's the benefit of experience?
So it's interesting. You get experience for, one, just playing a match. Like, if you even if you spawn and walk 10 feet, you'll get even the tiniest bit of experience just for being in the round.
Okay.
But you get more for killing NPCs around the map, like different various monsters. You get, like, there's grunts, there's armored, there's hive, there's meatheads, hellhounds. And one other thing that's in there. And obviously the bosses are in there. So depending on what you kill, you get more experience for it. Now, you don't have to kill anything. I mean, personally, I like to avoid things at all costs because it'll keep you hidden for much longer.
Right.
So you get points for that, and you get points for killing other hunters. And one, killing the boss, escaping with the bounties, more points. And now, if you die, you only get half the experience you garnered in that round. Let's say you get 1,000 experience. If you die, you only get 500 of that. So you always want to try to escape. Even if someone gets the bounty and escapes before you, even if you get to an escape point and not have killed anything, you'll still get more points for escaping. And
why do you want experience, though?
Because you're building up a bloodline, and you have a bank of money, like a currency that you spend on hunters. So at the beginning of the game, you have 4 hunters to choose from with various loadouts, and they're always random. So you have to pay to...
Oh, really? You can't customize your loadout?
You can customize it, but they come equipped with a default loadout, and you can manipulate it however you want. But they're all various prices because when the hunters spawn in your little recruit bank, there's some that are more expensive because their default loadout may have a weapon that you won't unlock for 10 more levels. So it's like, oh, I want to hire this guy, but he's very expensive. So it's risky if you hire like a $300 hunter and you go in there and
you
get
just
killed.
Get shot in the back.
Yeah. Like get shot 5 minutes in the match. It's just wasted $300. So I really like that, is because when you recruit a hunter, the biggest streak I've had is 3. I've taken one hunter through 3 full rounds and killed 3 full bosses with that one hunter. I was like, man, this is my hunter. I feel so good. And when I made my tips video that came out earlier this week on COD Connected, which I got to say I'm really disappointed because I worked so tirelessly on that video. I worked so hard on it with the writing and the capturing, gameplay, and editing. I was so proud of it. It's one of my favorite videos I've ever made, and like no one watched it because no one's playing Hunt, which I understand. I kind of figured.
Link it in our Discord again. Go watch Garrett's video, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I figured it wouldn't do that well because I don't hear anyone talking about Hunt. Like I seem to be the only person enthusiastic about it.
It doesn't seem like people are talking about it a lot.
Yeah, it sucks because I'm having so much fun with it, dude. But it was funny because I did that video with that one hunter. I was killing it with that one hunter. I was like, this is my guy, man. I like decked out his loadout. I went in with like upgrade. And it's also what's really appealing about each hunter is that as you upgrade them, you unlock upgrade points and you can unlock new. I mean, throughout your bloodline is your overall rank that continually goes up. You can upgrade individual hunters if you survive with them. And I upgraded this hunter's health all the way, which takes upgrade points. I had a new trait that I threw on him, new weapons I was throwing on him, and I did those 3 rounds like, this is perfect. I kid you not, dude. 5 minutes into the match after I made that video, I was shot in the face like instantly. And that just goes to show how easily you can lose everything in that game. And that's what I love, is that just because, let's say, oh, I have this trait unlocked, it isn't just you have it unlocked indefinitely. Like you have it unlocked, but you have to pay for it each time you use it. Because some traits, like Quartermaster, for example, allows you to equip 2 primary weapons. And obviously that's amazing if you have like a gnarly long-range shotgun and like a Winchester, for example, which normally you can't equip 2 weapons like that. So that's an expensive perk to apply to a hunter. So everything's currency based. So you always have to choose wisely, like who am I going to recruit? Which traits am I going to use? Which weapons am I going to use? So I love that aspect of it. That's why it's especially tension filled, because not only if I die, I'm dead, but you lose everything with that hunter. So you have to start completely over again. So I love that. But the rounds specifically that I'll mention, just experiences I had that were really cool. They had this new game mode. I don't know if it's temporary, where both bosses are on the map at one time. So you can hunt clues for each one and take down both if you want. And the coolest two experiences I'll share from this game mode. I always prefer to play at night now, because I think it's just absolutely terrifying at night, and it's just way more intense because you can hardly see anything, and you have to rely on the moonlight and rely on fires throughout the match and everything. So one of the cooler experiences I had is I lasted this whole match and didn't see any. I heard a lot of gunfire throughout the match, but I didn't see any hunters, and I managed to track down the spider. And I waited there for 10 minutes just to see if anyone would find it as well, but no one showed up. I was like, all right, I'm going to risk it and just try to take down the spider. So I nick away at the spider, baiting him at the door, because I will not go in the same building as the spider dude. F that. I was like, I tried to talk myself out of it like it's not scary, but that thing scares me to death. When I hear it pitter-pattering, stomping through the building, heading towards me, screeching, dude, I nearly crap my pants every time. So I bait him. I just hang outside the door and just like trick him into coming to the door, and I'll blast him, and then he'll run off, and then I'll get him to come back again. So I'm doing that for a while. I'm doing that for a while, and then all of a sudden a bullet just whizzes past my head and just ricochets off the side of the barn. I was like, shit! So, and this is a big compound. I mean, it's like multiple levels and like rooms to hide in. So I run around this corner. I'm still outside the compound. And I run all the way around the building and up this staircase into a building a bridge connects the building I ran into the building where the spider is. Yeah. So I run up there, and I'm hiding in this little cubby, and I see this little slit of this window. And this is 5 minutes have gone by. I'm just waiting there, camping, waiting, because I didn't know if these guys saw where I ran, because I didn't know where they shot from. So I had no clue. So I was just waiting there with a shotgun. So after a while, I get the nerve to go look out this window, and right where I was standing around that corner of the barn are two. I didn't see there were two. I saw one hunter just kind of peeking around that corner looking for me. I was like, this guy's so dead. He's an idiot, because he was just you never want to sit still in that game if you're out in the open, because it's just a free kill. So he's sitting there. I just line up a perfect headshot and nail him. And it's the best feeling in the world, especially when you know there are two friends playing together, because you kill one of their friends. They're like, shit, my friend's dead.
Do they see you when they get killed?
They don't know. That's what's cool, is that when you shoot someone, you'll get a hit marker, but it doesn't say like, oh, you get points for killing them. They're just dead. Like it doesn't tell you anything special. So I shoot this guy and blatantly see him die. And I thought he was the only one. But then I realized, I saw another rifle just poke around the corner. So I knew there's another guy. So I was like, oh crap. So stealthily, man, I creep all through this compound. I sneak a floor above the spider, and he doesn't realize I'm above the spider. There's a spider crawling around in there. I'm like on the floor above him. And there's another opening. So lucky this happened. There's an opening of the barn right above that door I was previously shooting at. And there's just a little platform, and I gently hop onto the platform. I look down, dude. His partner, the dead body laying there, his partner standing over his buddy, just waiting for me to appear. I am directly above the guy. He has no idea. I'm like a cougar in the night, dude. Just take out my pistol, blast him in the back of the head, just dead instantly. So satisfying. What's even better is that they had the butcher bounty, and I was working on the spider bounty. So I picked up that one, finished the spider, grabbed that one, and escaped with both bounties in that match. It was so epic. Yeah, it's like moments like that are just so awesome.
That's the best you could do, right? It's just getting both bounties.
Dude, after that match, I literally couldn't feel my legs. I was like, I was shaking that much because I wanted to win so bad. And that moment, I was like, that was so cool.
No, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. And other moments like that too. I don't know why this happens. I don't know if they do this on purpose or if it's a glitch in the game, but I intentionally choose solo, but other people are playing with friends in matches. So I get double teamed constantly, and it annoys the crap out of me. But I love killing two guys. It's awesome. Like there's been a couple points where I'll be like on like a stairwell, and these guys come around a corner in this graveyard, and one of them saw me. I headshotted one of them, and I freaked out, and his buddy was behind him. I just started unloading, and I managed to kill both of them. So that was cool.
Oh, by the way, I was at Evan's last night playing Overwatch on Xbox.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Some people, like we were on Elliot's Xbox Live name, so it was a level 1 account, so we were playing with new people.
Okay.
Holy crap, some people are just so oblivious
to like how that game works.
And it was just like a new account, so I'm sure people were just jumping in for the first time.
Yeah, like, oh, this is just a shooter, man.
I had 5 gold medals with Soldier.
Wow.
Like I destroyed the enemy team. But my team was so bad that I couldn't carry our team to win, so we lost.
Nice.
I think I had like 30 kills. Like I had the most healing as Soldier. No one on the team wanted to play a healer.
Right.
It was ridiculous. I was just getting behind people, and no one was turning around to shoot me. Like it was bad. But playing Overwatch on console, I don't miss it. Holy crap, it's so hard. You just can't aim.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Man.
But yeah, I just had to say that.
No, I'm glad to hear it. Thanks for sharing.
Playing on Evan's big projector.
Nice. Yeah, but the only other thing I'll say about Hunt is I've had so many heartbreaking moments too, due to my own stupid decisions. Like, for example, another match, I got a little cocky after that. I was like, all right, I killed the Butcher in one match and killed a couple of Hunters along the way. I was like, I'm going to go after the Spider. I'm pretty sure everyone else is dead in the match, so I just have free reign to run over the Spider. I can hit any resupply points I need to. I'm just going to get over there and find it. But I had no clue where the Spider was because no one ever found it. So I was having to hunt down clues, and I went into a barn where there were 2 armored in Preston. The armored are those like beefy looking guys with like the chunks on them, and they sound like dying cows. You remember those things?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, 2 of those things just ravaged me, man. They chased me all the way outside the barn and just chased me down. I tried to kill them. I just ran out of bullets, and they ravaged me, and I died and lost my bounty. I was so mad because I survived for like 30 minutes in this match and got myself killed like that. And a bunch of other times where I know I can sneak up on 2 guys, but I get a little antsy and try to just rush them with a shotgun, and they just mow me down. So, and then I lose my Hunter, and it's terrible. But I love that game, dude, and I'm excited to play more of it. And it's really solid. I can play on my full aspect ratio now with a 2560 by 1080, whatever it is. And even on low settings, I'm running at about 50. And on low settings, it looks surprisingly good. Like low settings on PUBG, you can tell a distinct difference between low and high in PUBG. But Hunt still looks pretty attractive on low settings. But I'm averaging like 50 to 60 frames normally. And one thing I hope they can patch or fix or improve over time is that I always know when there's either a boss or another player nearby is when my frame count drops to like 40 or 30 frames. Every single time that happens, there's always another player near me.
Oh, man.
So it's kind of like a dead giveaway. It's like every time I see my frames drop, I'm like, oh, someone's nearby. So that saved me a few times. So hopefully they fix it. If I could just lock it at 60 frames, it'd be amazing. But, yeah, really enjoying that. If anyone else wants to play with me, I'd love that because I'll probably stream that once this week and maybe a little Warhammer as well. If some of you guys have Vermintide too, which I guess I can talk about now. I don't have much to say because I didn't even know it existed. I mean, I'd heard the title, but I didn't know it existed until about a month ago, maybe. Mm-hmm. And I thought it looked cool. I thought the combat just looked super brutal. I was like, that looks kind of fun. And I don't know what compelled me to pick it up. I just thought it looked cool. Have
you ever played another Warhammer game?
I have not, no. So
you know they're not all like that, right?
I do, yeah. I kind of looked into it a little bit after that.
Of different Warhammer games.
Right. But yeah, this one was cool. I just liked the hack and slash nature of it. And it kind of reminded me, like I mentioned to you guys, I'm sure other people have said this too, but it kind of reminded me of Diablo in first person without like a ton of loot. You just go through it and just kill a million things and leave.
Yeah, I was actually watching a streamer play, and there's this cool functionality where like the stream can make decisions for you, like upgrade you and stuff. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I might dabble with that this week. I thought that might be a fun little
It's kind of like that SOS game you were talking about.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was a unique feature I wanted to try out. You can craft stuff, you can upgrade your weapons and gear and everything, but it isn't just like a loot dropping every 5 seconds like in Diablo. But gameplay-wise, it just reminded me of that because you bounce from area to area and just like waves of enemies come at you, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So just super violent too, which is always nice. Mm-hmm. Just taking an axe to a rat man's head and chopping him in half.
The vermin.
Right. The Vermintide. That's all I played this week. It was a good time, and I somehow fit that in with my busy school and work schedule. I have no idea how I did it.
And you're about to have a couple weeks off, correct?
Roughly 10 days.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I can make it through this week, I'll be in the clear for a little while.
I believe.
Then I have a very, very busy school schedule shortly thereafter. So we'll see how that goes. But I have 10 days of relative freedom in addition to my work schedule. So hopefully we can crank out some decent content. You should work on some highlight reels of your streams, Jacob.
Should I?
Yeah.
I don't record my streams.
You should.
I should.
If your computer can handle it.
I think it can.
I've noticed that shadow play makes things look kind of crappy. It's a little grainy for my taste. I'm considering investing in a real PC capture card because shadow play is kind of ugh. I mean, it's good for like dinky little goofy Let's Plays, but I really want something to look good. It doesn't look too sharp.
Yeah.
It doesn't look bad. It's just I can tell that it doesn't look as crisp as it would if I had a capture card. So, because I think essentially shadow play, all it's doing is just recording your screen.
Yeah.
It's almost like putting a video camera on your screen and just recording.
Yeah, it's basically what it's doing. Device.
So Anyway, that was a long, long intro. If you guys want to jump into the actual crazy week of video games that occurred.
Yeah, I do.
I'd love to.
Let's do it.
This is the It's Obvious Gaming podcast, the show where my two best friends and I get together every single week to discuss video games. Obviously, you can find all of our content, including the video version of this podcast, over at youtube.com/ItsObviousGaming. If YouTube isn't good for you, or you'd like to take us on the go, you can find this podcast weekly on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Audio Boom, and other podcasting services. Please check the description down below for links to our social media pages, PlayStation community, Discord channel, and timestamps to skip throughout the podcast if you would choose to do so. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel and be sure to like and comment down below to get involved with the It's Obvious community. Doing so helps us out tremendously, and we would forever be in your debt. With all that out of the way, hey man, what's the news?
The Division 2's coming. How do you guys feel about it?
I am excited because I think that they have seen the post Destiny 2 world, and I believe that they are smart enough to be like, hey, let's not do that.
Right.
And I think
just all the improvements the game has seen since its initial launch as well, from what I've heard.
And that as well. So I think I have a good feeling about the Division 2. I think that it'll be pretty dang good, if I'm going to be honest with you, Garrett.
Yeah, I want to give that game a real chance on PC prior to Division 2's release, just based on everything, all the positivity I've heard about it, all the improvements they've made. Yeah. Even just that survival mode alone sound really intriguing to me. So I want to give that game another shot prior to Division 2's release, which I imagine is quite a ways out, but we're supposed to see it at E3. Yeah. So it could be a situation, I don't know if it'll be like this or not, where Destiny to Destiny 1 almost, not in a good way, I don't mean this in a good way, but like almost seemed like the same game. I wonder if they'll kind of take what they have with Division 1 and kind of just build upon it to make Division 2, or if they'll start from the ground up. I don't know.
I'd like to see a new city.
New city?
Yeah.
Were you in New York the first time?
I think
it was in New York.
Is that right, Preston?
What's that?
You were in New York in Division 1, right?
Yes, you were.
Yeah. Chicago.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
I don't really know what I want from the next Division, honestly. I was kind of disappointed on release that there was nothing equivalent to a Destiny raid in that game. And I'm sure there will be this time around. I would hope so. So something like that to, work towards or do in the end game would compel me a lot more to play the next one for sure.
Alrighty. Yeah, I look forward to seeing it at E3. I thought that was a cool announcement. Mm-hmm. So that was just the start of countless announcements and reveals this week.
Yeah, it's a ton. It was they were mostly all one day too. It's all Thursday, right?
I think so. It's funny. I think I saw the same headline from like multiple outlets. Were like, E3 happening in March?
Yeah.
What?
There was a ton,
basically
stuff.
But speaking of games where you shoot things, Black Ops 4 was also officially announced after all those rumors.
Yeah.
Everyone making fun of the logo.
Yeah.
Which I couldn't care less about.
Logo.
I think the logo's cool, man.
Yeah. I mean, I don't love it, but I think it's cool.
I think it's cool because those bars have always looked cool, which we assumed were Roman numerals at first. I guess they're tally marks now. Yeah. But I always thought the Roman numerals looked really cool, especially the 2 and the 3 just looked really slick with the logo. And the 4 just... I know it seems silly to people, but I think it looks cool is what I'm trying to say.
This is like the first time that one of their series has gone to a 4th game, right?
I believe that's correct.
Call of Duty 4.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Modern Warfare 1?
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's not really much to say about it.
Yeah, but it's coming out October 12th, obviously. I mean, I think it's blatantly obvious that they're trying to avoid the Red Dead craze.
Yeah. When's Red Dead coming out again?
Late October, like the 26th or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, this is crazy. Has Call of Duty ever came out in October? Maybe like late October.
Yeah, maybe once before, maybe. Yeah. I think I'm just typically used to November every year.
It's kind of cool it's coming out earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. It's probably in their best interest to do that. Not that Call of Duty wouldn't sell anyway, or sell well anyway, but it's probably get ahead of the curve there. Because I know for a fact I'm going to be neck deep in Red Dead at that point. Hopefully we'll have Spider-Man on our hands by then, too.
At the same time?
Yeah, hopefully. If Spider-Man doesn't come out before Red Dead, it'll no doubt probably not make 2018. Unless they release it at the end of the year, maybe. I don't know. Only 2 things are really on my mind about this here, Spider-Man and Red Dead, specifically.
I'm excited for the WoW expansion.
Oh, are you?
That's going out this year.
Okay, I haven't even heard of it.
Battle for Azeroth, dude?
I think I've heard you actually say that twice.
The CG trailer. It happened last year.
Oh, yeah, that was a cool trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, all their trailers are cool, but that was a cool one.
It's okay. I know you guys don't care about my passion for WoW.
No, I get it, dude. I mean, obviously I can't entirely relate, but I can imagine myself in your shoes, and I think I would also love it just as much.
Mm.
So even when I dabbled to level 20, I was like, man, I would totally get addicted to this if I kept playing. So
that was a long time ago where you did that.
Preston, you have any more thoughts on Black Ops 4? You going to play it?
Well, yeah, I'll play it.
Hopefully that campaign, they'll bounce back with a decent campaign this time.
Yeah, let's hope so.
What kind of shooter do you think it is? Is it futuristic? Is it
I don't know,
present
man.
day?
I don't know if they'll do future or not. I feel like they'd feel really stale if they did future again. Not that I don't hate
What if it's like
stuff. I loved Infinite Warfare, and that was futuristic, but
I have a feeling it's going to be like one of those things where you go back in time or something. Like it's going to be taking place in the future, but you're going to like be hooked up some machine or something. I don't know.
That'd be kind of interesting.
I don't know. It'd be weird just for them to go back with no explanation. Like, oh, now it's present day.
I just can't see them going just like in a sequel to this series, which incorporated in its last installment like wall running and boosters and like all that.
Like a golden gun.
What's that?
It was like a golden gun ultimate.
Yeah, just
I don't remember
all that
stuff.
Like it would be I would like for them to do this, but do you think it'd be a little weird to like this is the fourth installment and we're taking away like half of the like movement like abilities and stuff that were in the third one if they go back to like a modern day setting or the past, you know what I mean?
I mean, if anyone could stay in the future, it would be Treyarch, I think, just because their Black Ops or their Call of Duty is usually the funnest out of all of them.
I'm okay with the slide, like when you go to prone when you're sprinting and you slide forward. I'm cool with that, but I think like the wall running and stuff isn't necessary.
Yeah, I don't want wall running. I don't like it.
So. Well, I wanted Treyarch to find a modern era, and then I wanted Infinity Ward to continue the Infinite Warfare series personally.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know
if they did another Infinite Warfare, even after the praise for the campaign, people would still eat it alive.
I know I would not blame them at all to not continue that. Just can you imagine the dislikes of that trailer after?
No, I mean, it would literally be a contest to see if they could out dislike that one from the first one.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I mean, I always play the Call of Duties when they come out, so.
I will play it also. Oh, excuse me. Fortnite's coming to mobile, which is no surprise because that game is taking over the world. Crossplay is also promised between all platforms, I believe, with the exception of PlayStation and Xbox. I don't think you can cross-platform with that, but PlayStation can cross-platform, I believe, with PC and mobile, and then Xbox can do the same. Just I don't think PS4 and Xbox will crossplay. But in other news, llamas are coming to Fortnite Battle Royale next week. In the game's Save the World mode, there are pinatas that you can break open for loot, and I expect they'll serve the same function here, Epic said. You'll find them around the Battle Royale island after next week's update, and that you'll interact with them as you would do a chest. I thought that was kind of cool. Like, I know PUBG kind of has like ammo, but doesn't PUBG have like ammo boxes and stuff you can find?
I don't know.
I don't think they have loot boxes per se, but for example, if you're playing Battle Royale and you go into a house, and they have those golden chests, but I guess you can just bust open a llama now too, and it'll give you other stuff.
Dude, these communities are so funny to me because like I follow people that sometimes they make Fortnite content, like Allier, for example.
Right.
Every week there's like a new gun or something added to the game, and like everyone freaks out in Fortnite. They're like, holy crap, it's a new pistol. Let's go play Fortnite. I'm just like, cool, there's a little pistol you can try now that you might get, you know?
I actually looked at one of Allier's videos that it was like on my recommendations that had to do with Fortnite, and I was just curious, and I looked at his channel, and he's still doing Call of Duty stuff, but the views are way less in his Call of Duty. It's like you'll see like hundreds of thousands in Call of Duty, and then Fortnite comes up and it's just like millions.
Yeah, I follow him on Twitter too, and apparently he got over 1 million subscribers in less than a month.
Yeah.
In less than a month?
Yeah.
Dude,
his channel's exploded since he started covering Fortnite.
Dude, Fortnite is, I don't know if I said this on the last podcast, but like even my dad is like, do you know Fortnite? He's like, that's all anybody at the school is talking about.
Wow.
Like all the kids.
It's so interesting, dude. Like,
when did it happen? It's just like I woke up one day and it was just like
late last year.
I think as soon as Battle Royale came out, dude,
it's free.
Exploded from there. Yeah, it's free on all platforms. Mobile and crossplay. That's unreal.
Like, yeah, I mean, I very much think it's the free to play thing being available on literally everything that, you know, like you said, or phones now. Like it's going to be on the.
It doesn't have that jank like PUBG does.
Right?
Yeah. No,
it is a silky smooth experience. Like that's the thing about Fortnite is I'm so discouraged to get into it because every time, if you make it to the top 10, if you can't build, you're dead. Because some of these guys I watch that are essentially pros, I'm
these
like,
streamers are like building towers.
They're almost like savants of building in Fortnite. I'm like, how on earth are you even realizing what you're doing? I mean, I guess it's just muscle memory over time. You can realize what you're doing, but I can't even build like a 4x4 fortress in like less than 30 seconds. I'm like, wait, what button is it again? And I'm like having to like maneuver my mouse to get it in the right place and everything. I don't know how people do it. It's fascinating.
I think I've heard a lot of people say that the default key bindings are not very good for that. So you need to, kind of like mess with it yourself.
Interesting. Yeah, that game is a beast right now. And I bet Epic Games is so happy that they stole from PUBG. Because it is working out in their favor to the most extreme. It's incredible. And they announced that game in 2000. I think I heard 2011 is when they first announced it. And look what it has become 7 years
Save
later.
the World mode, right? Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, like the core original mode, yeah. I wonder how many people actually play that in comparison to Battle Royale now. No idea.
Know. Maybe more people have tried it because of Battle Royale.
Perhaps, but
you'd have to think so.
It'll be interesting to see how that genre evolves going forward. I know a lot of people are trying to rip off PUBG and Fortnite, but there are also those that I imagine are trying to do their own thing. And Hunt being one of them, it isn't like a full-blown Battle Royale in a sense, because there's that Monster Hunter aspect and there's PvE elements to it. But
what if Black Ops 4's multiplayer is a Battle Royale?
I would not put it past both Battlefield and Call of Duty to cash in on a Battle Royale type mode. I don't know exactly how they would do it in Call of Duty, but you can almost treat it like gun game. I know like gun game, you pick up weapons for getting kills or whatever. I wouldn't be like that, but I could see them just like weapons scattered over a map.
What if like the whole story of Black Ops is that you are like isolated on an island and like there's some narrative to getting off the island? It'd be kind of interesting.
I don't know.
I'm just spitballing ideas here.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Battle Royale in that. I think Battlefield is definitely going to have something like that for sure. I'm very excited to see Battlefield 5, dude. I assume that rumor is true because it seems legit. There's been other leaks about factions you can play as and various weapon types and everything. So I think it's for real. Very excited to see that revealed. Black Ops is going to be revealed in May, correct? I think it's like May 25th or something.
Yeah, it's when they usually reveal it.
Yeah. So cool. Oh, we were just talking about Fortnite.
Yes.
Yeah, Fortnite Unstoppable. We have a question from Mr. Glorious Lemon regarding Fortnite.
Oh, fantastic.
He says, good day, boys. Epic Games has recently started a promotion through Twitch where people can unlock 2 Fortnite skins, a glider, and a backpack if they sign up for Twitch Prime. Do you boys think more companies will promote their games through Twitch like this?
Companies have been. And yes, it will continue, I think.
I don't know anything about Twitch or Fortnite for that matter either. So
yeah, even freaking Lawbreakers had a thing with Twitch where you could get like exclusive skins and stuff.
It's a shame. I bet you $1 million Cliffy B's feeling the pain of one, leaving Epic Games because look at them now, and then also having his hero shooter release right at the end of the popular. I mean, I know Overwatch is huge, but hero shooters in general, no one's making those because Battle Royale's the big thing. His game came out, and I think they even credited like PUBG being like, PUBG is the reason our game didn't sell. It's like, imagine if they made a Battle Royale game instead of Lawbreakers. I bet they'd be seeing a lot of success as well right now. But it was just the wrong timing. I think it just took too long to come out, and it was just came out at the worst possible time. So I don't think anyone would even be slightly interested in Lawbreakers right now. With one Battle Royale and 2 like Overwatch League and everything. So
I looked at the Lawbreakers forums on Steam the other day, and people like have to plan to get with each other to play.
It's like 15 people. Like I think we got a full match this weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, what a crying shame, dude. That's so sad. I feel.
The biggest thing is that there's the main two ones right now are Rainbow Six Siege and Overwatch, and they have very dedicated fan bases, I would say. So, and you would think there would be a lot of room for others to come in, but there kind of isn't, because when people play those games, they play those games. Like it's kind of their game. Mm-hmm. That's the impression that I get, at the very least. I don't know. But what's our next story, Garrett?
It's about Hellblade.
Hellblade.
Yeah, according to ratings in Australia and Taiwan, Hellblade is listed as an Xbox One release. As a footstool release. An announcement could be coming around the corner, people are speculating. Doesn't surprise me. That game was a huge success. I don't know why Ninja Theory wouldn't want to throw it on as many platforms as possible. I know it's on PC and PS4 at the moment, but it makes its way to Xbox. I can see that being good for them, especially Switch, man. I bet you a lot of people would play that on Switch. So, a little interesting tale, I thought. Not really that important. But
no, it's cool. It's
good for
Hellblade.
Xbox. Yeah.
More people can play it.
Like Preston said, ooh. Speaking of ooh, you guys see the State of Decay 2 gameplay?
I saw that it was a thing, but I did not watch it.
I watched a portion of IGN First coverage of it. They're going to be covering it all month, I believe. Cool. I'm actually slightly interested in playing this on PC. I think it looks cool. I mean, I'm not all about zombie games, but I like the idea that you go out into the wild and you collect supplies and have to kind of build up your fortress or your society or whatever. Mm-hmm. I thought the shooting mechanics and just running around the open world look kind of fun. I wouldn't say I'm like going to play it yet, but I definitely have a curiosity for it.
I think it's $30.
So I think they just recently announced that price too, $30, because people were speculating whether or not it's going to be full $60 or not. But there's one guy just randomly, it was one of my recommended videos, a big Xbox guy who was just crapping all over Microsoft and Xbox for their lack of exclusives and everything. I was like, man, I hope they bounce back.
When is
I was thinking about like Halo and Gears. Like, who's excited for those because those are multiplayer heavy games. I know they have their stories as well, but when you have Battle Royale going on in Fortnite and PUBG, like, who's like really, really playing those games right now? I know there's a core audience for both of them, but imagine those servers.
The only person that I know that plays Halo 5 is Sean Finnegan, because he talks about it on the Destiny podcast that IGN does.
Yeah.
That's the only person I hear talk about Halo.
I mean, Halo 5's fun, but you got to wonder how, especially Xbox heavy hitters like Halo and Gears going forward, how they're going to tackle the current climate of multiplayer that's happening.
Is Crackdown still slated for the spring? Like, when's that coming out?
I can't remember. They pushed it, didn't they, till sometime this year, right?
I don't know.
Was it supposed to come out in the end of last year?
It got pushed to, I think, early this year or something.
I have no idea.
Shows how much I care.
I have no idea. So I feel bad especially for people that just are not willing to play PlayStation. I'm like, there are so many
Get a PC.
incredible games you're missing out on. If you're a console person specifically, I mean, a lot comes out on PC as well, but there's stuff that only comes on PS4, like God of War, Last of Us, soon to be Spider-Man.
Just think about this. Instead of using your Xbox, you could set it on your desk. You could put your monitor on it so it's higher up.
It's not a bad idea. I might actually do that with mine, because
Yeah.
I've been wanting to lift mine a little bit.
Or if your chair is like, if your feet don't touch the ground when you're sitting in your gaming chair playing your PC, you could put your Xbox under it so you can put your feet down.
Yes. Granted, though, shout out for Xbox having Sea of Thieves coming out really soon, later this month.
I'm interested to see how that does with the Game Pass.
I don't think I'm going to pick it up upon launch. I'm going to let it fester for a bit, and see how it goes, because I think it's weird. I feel like I got my fill in both betas I played on Xbox and PC. So unless there's something bombastic right out the gate that I have to play, I don't think I'm going to pick it up.
I'm waiting for there to be a incentive for me to play it.
Right.
Besides just having fun in a game. Like, why would I want to play a game to have fun, you know? I got to have something to earn.
Totally. I feel you there, boy.
Oh, we got a lot of pages.
Yeah, let's move on to PlayStation. It looks like a lot because it's just Nintendo Direct stuff in case we need it, but there's really not that much. Let's move on to Sony. Apparently, they filed a backwards compatibility patent. This news comes from Shibu S. from Game Transfers. He says, Or she says, I'm not sure. The insider Tyduck shared on Twitter a patent recently registered by Sony Interactive Entertainment America and apparently designed by Mark Cerny, responsible for the architecture of PlayStation 4. The patent in question is not very clear at the moment, but it seems that Sony is willing to implement the backwards compatibility in the future, not necessarily on PlayStation 4. Some theories would suggest that the patent related to PlayStation 5, the next console on of the Japanese company, may be backward compatible with PS4 games, but is not excluded that Sony Interactive Entertainment can offer the possibility of running the PlayStation 3 games on PlayStation 4 and PS4 Pro. So it's still up in the air, like speculating, like, whoa, what could the patent be for? I think the obvious one would be PlayStation 5 down the road. I don't know if they would, at this point, want to make PS3 games backwards compatible on PS4 and PS4 Pro. Obviously that's a huge feature to have on any console, especially I learned that the hard way when I sold my 360 and PS3 just to get the PS4, and I regretted that greatly for the first several months of PS4's life cycle.
We couldn't play the South Park game that came out.
Right.
What was it called?
Stick of Truth?
Yeah, Stick of Truth.
So, that was a huge mistake. I mean, I won't be selling my PS4, even if, let's say, PS5 is backwards compatible. I won't be selling it
I have way too many cool games on PS4.
Yeah, I'd rather keep it anyway, just for the sake of memories and nostalgia. Yeah. I kind of felt bad for selling my 360 and PS3.
I have a fantastic collection of PS4 games. There's no way I can get rid of it.
I don't really. I might just throw all those away, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, just throw your PS4 away.
Get a couple bucks at GameStop for them. Yeah. I don't play any of them.
Take your Pro and get $100.
Exactly.
To go buy NCAA, I traded in every single Xbox One game I had.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got like $80.
That's not bad.
No, it wasn't bad at all.
Wait, how much was the NCAA game?
$50.
$50.
Yeah, dude, that game's like rare.
What?
It's like,
I guess it's in high demand.
It is it's like 90 something on Amazon.
Wow,
are you just kidding me?
It's the last one, isn't it?
Yeah, it was the last NCAA game to come out. Yep,
makes sense.
And they're at like no GameStops. I had to drive all the way down to Athens to like this a mall down there to find it.
Oh my goodness,
that's dedication right there.
Yeah, man.
Cool, dude. Do you guys think it's probably a patent that they potentially may implement with PlayStation 5 in the future?
Probably the safe bet is the PS5.
Yeah, I don't think it's for PS3 backwards. I think that ship has sailed. There's no reason for them to do it necessarily.
No,
I mean, it would just be a goodwill kind of like, here you go.
Yeah,
we're thinking about you guys.
We think about a lot of the best PS3 games have already been up-res and ported to PS4.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Yeah, they've already been milking that cash cow.
They have, and it's
worked on me several times.
Yeah. I've indulged in all of them.
Bought all these Kingdom Hearts games. I've bought Dishonored remastered.
Every Naughty Dog game.
Last of Us remastered.
Every Naughty Dog game on the PS3 generation is on there. Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls remastered, Shadow of the Colossus it's like literally every exclusive I can even think of has been remastered. So that patent has to be something for PS5.
Definitely. You guys think in 2020, maybe later for PS5?
I think 2020 is a safe bet.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the earliest for sure.
Yeah. I would say
will have been 7 years of PlayStation 4.
Would be the earliest, and I would be surprised.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it as far as a reveal is concerned. 2019 would probably be the earliest I see it revealed. Or maybe leaks or something, but yeah, 2020 or beyond probably is what we're looking at.
For sure. I like console announcements, but it irritates me too, is because they're just so secretive about everything, and I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, I wonder why that is.
I don't know. They're like, here's the box. We're going to show you the controller in 5 months, and then we'll show you like a 30-second snippet of like some concept graphics that we think we can do and stuff.
Right.
It's annoying.
How likely do you think it is that the next console, whether it's Xbox or PS5 or whatever, does it come with a VR unit? You think that's even
to
a
come
possibility?
with one? That is not likely in the slightest.
Maybe like a launch bundle, maybe not like.
I'm just trying to like kind of think of what's going to be the big thing in the next generation of consoles.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming PSVR would have to be compatible with PS5.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. I just hope they keep the DualShock 4 because that's the best PS4 controller of all time.
Maybe get rid of the touchpad.
Yeah,
maybe there's something else
the touchpad can go.
Yeah.
I don't know what you put there. Maybe nothing at all.
I mean, it works as like a glorified button for certain things.
It is an extra button.
In the past, because I like it. It feels nice to press, especially for like a map button. It works for me.
Some games integrate it, kind of cool. You swipe up in Witcher for the map, I think.
Yeah, I always forget that it was once used for like swiping certain things and everything. It was like a gimmick at the beginning.
No, it kills on Shadowfall. You would swipe left, right, up and down for your little drone thing with you.
Right. I thought the light bar was kind of cool. I dig the light bar.
I mean, it's fine.
So it's cool if you were playing with a party and everyone had a different color, I guess.
Yeah. Enjoy the colors of your controllers. Days Gone was delayed to 2019.
I want to say, was it delayed though? Because I don't even.
Oh no, everyone's saying that. What was the actual date to begin with? But I guess it's easier than saying like we're pushing the release date that was never really established anyway.
Days Gone confirmed for 2019.
Yeah. So this actually comes from Reese Puggischu, who says on Nerd Much, keen eyes have noticed that the date on Days Gone official page has changed from 2018 to 2019. According to US Gamer, who reached out to Sony for clarification, the change was deliberate. However, Sony offered no details on what caused the delay or what the status of the game is. It's funny because this seemed like a blip on the radar for everyone. Like, I don't think anyone's truly anticipating that game. I definitely am interested in it. I want it to be good because if we can have just another great PS4 exclusive, I'm all about that. But I mean, there's no denying it's very familiar, just based on the setting, The Last of Us and everything. It feels familiar in that sense. The Freakers are basically zombies, which we have a million zombie games. So aside from the motorcycle, there's nothing really standing out to me from that game yet. It looks cool, but I don't think anyone is super jazzed about it. So when they announced this, I saw some people just doing like LOL in comments and stuff. So I don't know if that's a good sign if they're wanting to obviously just continue developing it in general, but there's like massive changes they're wanting to make to it based on the current climate of that game's reception. I don't know. What do you think, Preston?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, I honestly keep forgetting about that game. From what I've seen, it looks cool, but yeah, that's really all I have to say. I honestly, I didn't expect it to even come out this year. We haven't heard anything substantial.
Right. Where would it even fit this year with everything else we have coming out? I don't know. It has to come out at a time where
especially if Spider-Man's coming this year.
Around it. Yeah, there has to be like completely alone for like 2 whole months.
So it's pretty much in my head. It's going to be God of War, Detroit in May, and then I'm pretty positive and I'm pretty confident saying that I think Spider-Man's going to be September.
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm predicting August. I don't know why.
I think
August feels right.
This is how Sony's E3 is going to go. They're going to either open or close. I think this is obvious too. This isn't like going to blow anyone's minds. They're going to open or close with Spider-Man or Last of Us 2. We will definitely see Last of Us 2 in action for the first time.
They have to close with Last of Us. You can't open with The Last of Us. Like,
I think a powerful opening would be a new Spider-Man demo with the release date right after it. And then people are like, yes! And then just, if you can keep that momentum all the way through to The Last of Us gameplay that's inevitably going to happen at the end, I think that will be an incredible Sony E3 press conference.
What if they did them one after the other, though, like at the end?
I don't know. I feel like you need a super strong opening and a very strong finish.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you, though?
Yeah, you don't want a boring, mosey beginning and then
what if their whole conference is just awesome?
It could be. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, same thing with Bethesda. I don't know exactly what they will show at this year's E3 because Detroit will have been out, God of War will have been out, Days Gone. I don't even think we need to see anything from that, honestly, unless they have something really awesome to show. But Spider-Man Last of Us is going to be there. The rest, I have no idea. Probably see some more VR stuff, and they're still supporting VR, which I'm happy about.
It's kind of crazy because we're getting to the point where all the games we know about from Sony are coming out, and finally now we don't know what's coming anymore.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting how the tides have turned. It's been a good ride for Sony.
Oh yeah, yes, it has been a great generation, to say the least.
So with Days Gone being sometime in 2019, are we going to see The Last of Us as well in 2019?
Yes.
Maybe. I think we will know based on the demo we see at E3. I mean, obviously you can make any demo look incredible, like, oh, this game's going to come out next month, but because you can take any chunk of a game and just make it look incredible.
I wonder if they go for another summer release with Last of Us 2.
Maybe.
So they could release it anytime they want.
Typically, Naughty Dog games, and I'm only thinking back to Uncharted 4, but they'll show 2 gameplay demos back-to-back years at E3, and then it'll come out after the second one. So if they're going on that, if we see gameplay at this year's E3, then it should come out. Well, actually, they didn't do that with The Last of Us, though. Okay, so that just completely debunks my theory. Never mind. Something tells me 2020 for The Last of Us, though. I get that feeling too.
I don't see it slipping that long.
I heard someone like Human's podcast was make the point that it would make a profound PS5 launch title, but I don't know if they'd want to alienate the massive fan base they already have on PS3 and PS4 for Last of Us, and hope that everyone buys a PS4 at launch and picks up Last of Us 2. I don't know.
PS5, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a PS5 title. I don't think that. I think Death Stranding is like the highest chance of that happening. But
Horizon 2, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that would be an awesome launch title for sure. I could see Last of Us 2 being the ultimate bow on PlayStation 4's life
just
cycle.
Like the Last of Us original was.
On PS3. Yeah.
So,
man, what a conclusion to a generation that would be. Yeah. Which it probably will be.
Then we'll get the remaster half a year until PS5's life cycle.
Exactly. Yeah. 8K graphics, bro, or 8K resolution.
Oh, hell yeah.
So that's pretty cool, man. Exciting times ahead. I'm very pumped for E3. Days gone. Lord be with you. I hope you're great.
For sure.
I hope everyone at Sony Bend is confident in their product, and I hope it all plays out for them.
I don't think that will be a bad game. I think at worst it'll be like that's fine.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, guys, let's talk about Nintendo Direct.
Oh boy,
what a Direct it was.
Yeah.
Specifically, the reaction videos I saw at the end of the Direct when they revealed Smash Brothers. I watched the New York Nintendo Store reaction.
Oh my gosh,
gets me so stoked. I'm not even a huge Smash Bros.
Scary how excited everyone is.
I like
it's like people shouting.
I watched the Easy Allies when they live stream it, dude. If you want to get hyped and watch some hype dudes freak out to everything, watch Easy Allies. Man, I would love to watch stuff with them like in real life. They get hyped about everything, and it excites me so much.
Yeah, I bet, man. Our reaction videos always get me excited. And it reminds me of our Infinity Ward trailer reaction. I guess people were hoping for a reaction like that in our video, and everyone's like, "You guys didn't react to anything." We're like sitting there blank face, and then the trailer ends. We're like, "Man, that looks pretty cool."
I remember being so tired that morning.
We were. It's like so many factors involved with our reaction to that, and then I see people like losing their minds for Smash Bros.
Mm-hmm.
But
I lost my mind, dude. I was watching it live. I just got home from the gym that day. I was like, yes!
I will say that trailer is so epic. It is really cool.
It threw me off because I was like, are you kidding me? Another fucking Splatoon?
Oh, yeah. Dude, I knew. When he said one more thing, I was like, here it comes. Like, I knew without a doubt it was Smash Bros.
But when it got dark, like I was like, "Oh, what's happening?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, the Mario and Link in that lighting with that is like I've never seen Mario look so badass in my entire life. Like
it's funny you see him all gleefully running around in Odyssey, and then you see him like that. Mario's gonna kick your ass.
Yeah. Then
we'll talk about that in a second.
Breath of the Wild Link. Are you kidding me, dude? Are you?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
he's probably gonna have his Sheikah slate for some of his abilities.
Let's just talk about Smash Bros. Now while we're talking about it.
Let's do it.
Because there's other stuff to talk about. We'll get there in a minute. But do you think it's safe to assume that Mario will have Cappy as like one of his main?
I would hope so. Yeah.
Abilities in the new Smash Bros. Which I assume it's a new Smash Bros. You don't think it's a port, do you?
I mean, we don't know for sure, but people are assuming with Breath of the Wild Link that it's probably new.
I've seen a lot of like people like really diving into it, looking at copyright dates, because typically on like Wii U ports it says like the original date that the original release came out, whereas on the website this one does not. All it says is 2018. The logo looks slightly different. It's like
right. I feel like if it was a port, they would have just outright said that.
Yeah, like
why like make people make people speculate over something like that? Just be honest. So I think it's definitely new. And ironically, Video Game Donkey's video where he notices the slash and the S is missing. I'm like, that's pretty much it right there. I think that's all you need.
Yeah.
So, and all the characters that he accurately determined are in that trailer as well.
Yeah, and
which I'm very excited
Sakurai has been working on this in secrecy. I think he said on his Twitter, it was translated, that he has like been tirelessly like slaving away on this game. And I feel like if it was just
why would you slave away on a port?
Exactly. So
dude, 2018. I mean, well, I imagine at like Nintendo Treehouse, whatever they do at E3, it will be like the big Smash Bros. That'll be their flagship thing of E3, kind of how like Odyssey, or I think Odyssey was last year, right?
Yeah.
Because Breath of the Wild had already come out. Yep. The year before that was Breath of the Wild. Smash Bros. Will be like their flagship title they're showing off at E3, probably.
There's a lot of things I expect from them at E3. So
yeah,
that's probably their biggest thing, though. Yeah, Smash.
You think we'll see anything or hear anything about the new Pokemon?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I think
we have a community question about that. I want to skip
obviously.
I think we'll get an update, because he said that during last year's E3 we'd hear more things this year. So
I want to see Fire Emblem. They haven't talked about that since. God, when did they talk about Fire Emblem? Was it when they revealed the Switch?
I can't remember.
I mean, they showed Fire Emblem.
That's the last I remember hearing about it.
I think I don't remember exactly when they announced that we were getting an actual Fire Emblem game.
Well, they definitely said it.
Yeah, I know they said it, but I don't remember when or where.
I don't expect Metroid anything.
Maybe we'll get a trailer.
I would like teaser, to at least see something at E3, but that's definitely.
You know what I think would be really cool if Samus was in the new Smash Bros. And it shows like her new look, like her new, maybe like a redesign of her armor, like it's a tease of what you're going to get in the new Metroid. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I keep forgetting that Yoshi is coming out this year. They kind of haven't talked about it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. They showed that off at E3 last year too.
Kirby game's coming out like
this couple weeks or
something. Yeah,
maybe it's
super soon. Maybe
I'm probably gonna get it. I think maybe.
I think
I might just add it to the backlog. It looks compelling. I've always wanted to play the Kirby game just to try it.
I played one on like Game Boy Advance, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So sucked up some bad guys and pooped them out or whatever Kirby does.
I want to learn more about this King DDD guy.
Yeah, exactly. You guys, I didn't really analyze the trailer too much. I didn't even really watch any analysis videos. But you guys have any predictions on who might be in the game that wasn't in any previous Smash Bros. Or haven't been in there in a while?
Oh. I mean, there's people that I'd want in there, but do I think they'll be in there?
Yeah.
Probably
obviously new characters are fun, but also iterations of characters are fun too. Like I think Mario with Cappy would be so cool to his character in the new Smash Bros. Like all the things you could do combat wise with Cappy.
Obviously there's gonna be ARMS characters, you would hope.
Oh yeah, one of them or both of them or two of them will be in there. Obviously Breath of the Wild Link.
The biggest thing that
that Link used like his Sheikah Slate for
that's
combat.
What I was saying. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, for sure. The big thing that I really want to know is, are we retaining all of the just like crazy, awesome out there characters that were in Wii U? Like, are we going to have Cloud and Bayonetta and Ryu and stuff? Like all these.
I wouldn't count on it.
Like,
I mean, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how like those deals work with all those companies.
Because I know after Brawl they lost Snake, and that was a big bummer.
It's pretty crazy that Cloud was in a Smash Bros.
I know,
game.
dude. That's insane. Like that's what I'm saying. Like hopefully they can keep them in there, because that's what's kind of sucks about these fighting games is like in the previous iteration you have like a gazillion characters eventually, and then like typically these games start over and you just have to like rebuild the roster all over again. So I would love to think that this game has like these iterations that you're talking about. Also, I'd love like a classic Link as well. Like maybe there could be different play styles. Just have the classic Link that's already been.
Brawl where there was Toon Link and Link.
Yeah, but they essentially play the same. But I mean, maybe the Breath of the Wild Link could play the same instead of just pulling out bombs out of her butt or his butt. He could like whip out a Sheikah Slate and they'll just appear. Like maybe it could just be like a palette swap or whatever. But yeah, I would love for them to just keep what was in the Wii U version and just add on to it. I think that is, if I were a betting man, I would say that's probably not likely, but man, I would love that.
What if we saw something like the Doom Slayer in Smash Bros? Because like
Bethesda's
putting all this effort into making Switch games.
That would be awesome.
Dragonborn is a fight character. Yeah, that'd be. What about Crash Bandicoot has been thrown out there.
Oh, hey, that might actually happen.
That would be. He would fit perfectly in Smash Bros. With his spin attack and everything.
He's going to be in there. I'm calling it now.
That's a good prediction. That's a very good prediction.
Yeah. Could you do Doomslayer against Samus? Are you kidding me,
I think Doomslayer makes the most sense because if you threw Dragonborn in there, it's just like too many swords, I think.
Yeah.
So
get BJ Blazkowicz in there with Wolfenstein 2 Switch release.
Right.
Let's go. Bethesda versus Nintendo fighter.
That'd be awesome, dude. I'm so excited.
Dude, I feel like Bethesda would do that because they are like all in on the Switch, dude. I'm calling it, man. Bethesda's going to do something in Smash. It's happening.
You know what? I bet they will, they'll be showing off Smash Bros. At Treehouse, whatever it's called at E3. But I bet Bethesda will also throw something out there at their conference about, we're going to show up in like they had the Breath of the Wild crossover with the Skyrim re-release. Yeah. They'll definitely do something again, like, oh, look, we're going to be in Smash Bros. With Doomslayer or whatever.
But do we learn anything more about Smash before then? Because it'd be weird if they said something about Smash before Nintendo goes like the next day.
I think
or something.
The only thing they would do is be like, we'll be here some, like they'll just hint at like we'll be at another
catch us
conference
tomorrow at Nintendo's whatever.
Right, yeah. Bethesda's going to be the one to reveal the first gameplay of Super Smash Brothers.
We actually developed Super Smash Bros. That's their new game they've been working.
You know what would be really hype if they could somehow make it work is reveal the sequel to Doom, which I think they are going to do, and then at the very end be like, but wait, there's more, and then it like does some kind of cool animation and it shows Doomslayer doing Smash Bros. Or something. So that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I'm pumped for that. I've never been a diehard Smash Bros. Fan, but I've always played it a lot with friends. I'm
gonna play this one. This is the one that's gonna get me hard.
Definitely.
Just
if there's a fighting game I was ever gonna get into, it'll be this.
I'm hoping you're right about them carrying over a lot of the Wii U Smash Bros. To the new one because I never got to play as Mega Man, and I really want to play as Mega Man.
Yeah, for sure.
I could see him coming back with the Switch Mega Man. Well, Mega Man's going to be on all platforms, but the Switch will be where he thrives.
And it's just like, why wouldn't you? I know there's like legal things on stuff, but like, why wouldn't you want your guy in Smash?
Yeah, for sure.
It can't be
such a huge
like
franchise.
Square Enix. It can't be like, granted, like this is complete ignorance. I don't know anything about these things, but how hard is it to be just like, yeah, you can use our dude. Just let's just keep the same deal we had earlier, like in terms of payment and stuff. Like, yeah, let's do it. That's
I guess we'll let thousands,
only every meeting
millions of people play this character that we made.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's like a billion times, like more in depth than that. But one can only hope.
So there were other things that happened at the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, let's talk about them. I'm going to just run through them. If anything sticks out to you, just stop me. I'm just going to list them off.
Most of these 3DS ones are.
Yeah, so in 3DS news, we got Wario Gold coming out August 3rd, or WarioWare Gold. Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers.
I wish WarioWare was coming to the Switch, but it's not. So,
Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers coming May 24th. Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey.
Great title.
Yeah, incredible title. That's to be announced for 2019. Luigi's Mansion 3DS remake. To be announced for 2018.
Sad that's not on Switch.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun. I'd try that again because I dabbled in it. I think I dabbled in it on GameCube shortly after playing Mario Sunshine. I was hoping for a similar experience, but it didn't grab me at the beginning, so I stopped. But I've heard some good things about it. And Switch news: Okami HD Switch coming this summer.
I've heard good things about that game.
As have I. Preston, you said you're going to pick that up, aren't you? You're interested or something?
What game?
Okami.
Yeah.
Am I thinking of someone else just said that to me?
I mean, I played it back on PS2 like a long time ago, so I have been wanting to try it again, but I might have mentioned it here or there, but I'm not sure if I'd get on Switch or not. Yep.
I understand. Dark Souls Amiibo, the guy praising the sun, and Network Test Beta are coming May 25th.
The closer that gets, the more I want to play it on the Switch.
Dark Souls?
Yeah.
You never finished it on PS4, did you?
I never played the original Dark Souls.
Oh, the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. No, I didn't.
I was thinking Dark Souls 3, some kind of deal going on PSN right now or something. That's why it's on my mind.
Yeah, you're right.
The original Dark Souls, I'd probably just play on PC at this point, but it coming to Switch is enticing, I will say. So it's Dark Souls 1, isn't it, coming to Switch, or is it the third one?
It's the first one. It's Dark Souls Remastered.
Okay. Sushi Striker, The Way of the Sushido. It's coming June 8th. Octopath Traveler has a release date coming July 13th. You guys think you're going to play it?
Oh, yeah.
You going to play it, Preston?
Dark Souls on Switch?
No, Octopath Traveler.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I like that they just kept the name, too. It's like at this point, it's been the name for so long. Might as well.
I may pick it up as well. I'm not sure yet.
I really enjoyed the demo.
Mm-hmm.
Demo was pretty good.
The art style is the best thing about it.
Yeah. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes, to be announced 2018. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, July 13th.
It's a game I'll be picking up.
Undertale. It's a little fox character, isn't it? That's to be announced.
Ooh, Undertale? Or what?
What's Undertale? What's that game called? The little fox. It's coming to Xbox.
Super Lucky's Tale.
That's what it is. That's what it is. I was thinking of the Xbox exclusive. Undertale. The port of the indie darling Undertale set to the Switch for not unconfirmed date. Remind me what Undertale is again. It's on the tip of my mind.
It's that like 8-bit style game that just has a massive cult following.
Okay, because I've heard that name 1,000 times. It just
like if you
visually click in my mind what it was.
You would have to just look at it. You just have to look at it. I haven't played it, but I've seen a lot of gameplay from it, and I know people absolutely love that game.
I can't stop burping this morning.
It's all right,
afternoon.
Big one, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy is coming July 10th. It's pretty cool.
A little surprising.
To everything, PC, Xbox, all of it.
It's wild, man.
It doesn't surprise me. They never said it was a full... I know that one Italian PlayStation site said it was a full-on exclusive, but they were the only people to say such a thing. So
I just didn't expect the Switch to be home for it.
Oh, gotcha.
That's what I'm surprised about.
Yeah.
Little Nightmares, that rumor was true. The complete edition is coming on my birthday, May 18th.
Well, look at that.
I highly recommend that one if you guys.
If I ever play it, I'll play it then.
It'll probably be incredible on Switch. It's probably the ultimate Switch game. Any kind of like platformer, side scroller like that, I think is awesome. I mean, it's not a full on side
Something
scroller.
Good to take on the go.
Definitely. South Park: The Fractured Butthole, coming April 24th.
Pretty cool.
Switch.
That's very cool.
Again, if I ever play that game, it'll be on the Switch.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like I'd enjoy that on the Switch.
Oh yeah, dude.
I never played Stick of Truth, but I've seen bits and pieces of it and Fractured Butthole, and it looks outstanding.
For sure.
The ARMS US and Canada Online Open Tournament is happening March 8th, or starting now as of when this direct happened through March 18th. The finals are on the 31st. If you're interested in the ARMS Open Tournament. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition is also coming on my birthday, May 18th.
Yes.
Jake, have you getting that too?
Yeah, man, you gonna pick it up?
It's just a big joke that I'm into Warrior games.
You stoked, dude? I heard the narrative is pretty good in it.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, Jake.
I'm sure it'd be fun
for
a
douchey comment.
I'm sure it'd be fun for like 5 minutes, but
yeah, that was a lot of people came in and played that. It was when we were working at GameStop. That demo was there, and people would wait in line to play that demo.
The Wii U version.
Yeah. Mario Tennis Aces, which I'm interested in. Yeah, this coming June 22nd.
I'm psyched for this game.
Yeah, I'm definitely picking that up for sure.
I love Mario tennis games. I haven't played one since the GBA one. So,
I never owned one, but I played one with someone somewhere in the past. So, and just anything Mario, I'm attracted to.
They haven't really said much about the campaign mode that they said there's going to be in the game. So, I'm hoping that's going to be pretty decent too.
Yeah,
could be good. Probably.
And
will
did
be.
You see that Chain Chomp was one of the characters you can use? It's pretty cool.
Splatoon 2 version 3.0. It's coming in April.
Pretty neat. All you Splatoon fans.
Oh, yeah. Gentlemen, we've discussed Smash Bros., but in that discussion and other various Nintendo questions, I don't know how I'm trying to say this, I'm half asleep. We have community questions relating to the Nintendo content this week. Actually, all of our community questions are baked into the podcast this week. They're not really an exterior bit of it, which I think is cool when community questions can work out like that. It feels very concise and like a full cake.
It continues the conversation.
It is. It kind of blends them into the conversation.
Yeah.
Flows a bit better, unless we break it up and talk about it like we are now instead of just flowing into it.
Yeah.
First one comes from Sam Harris. Sam Harris says, "So, gentlemen, now that Smash is officially coming to Switch, it's that time again. Roster predictions." Dang it, why didn't I read this before we talked about it? We know the Inklings, Mario, Breath of the Wild, Link, and some other familiar silhouettes, but what characters do you believe will appear in this new game? What characters do you hope are in the game, and what characters do you hope are not in this game? Love to hear your thoughts. Kisses to all your faces.
As long as Fox is in the game, I'm cool.
Okay, I think that's a given for sure.
I think either Rex or Pyra will probably be in this game.
Hey. What if they're together?
That would be cool
like
for him to just
she's charging.
Yeah, for him to just be like ice climbers or something. Just yeah, that'd be cool.
Like you can't attack her, maybe, but
yeah.
Or maybe you can. I don't know.
I mean, no. Well, I don't want to say anything. But yeah, I think either of them would be cool.
Oh, dude, just imagine when, like, if I don't know how the Wii U Smash was, but remember in Brawl when you hit that little thing that floats around, you get like an ultimate ability or a form. Like, imagine what that could be for Rex and Pyra, dude.
It'd be pretty cool. Was that even in the Wii U version?
Yeah, that's why I said I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
They might have taken that out.
Remember seeing that, but
I don't even remember what it was called in Brawl. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, Smash like Ultimate or something. Yeah. I think that's a very safe guess. Is them from a Xenoblade.
I wonder what their combat would be like, because you can't just obviously transfer that gameplay over to Smash.
Well, I mean, they had Shulk, I believe that was his name, from the first Xenoblade Chronicles in the Wii U version of Smash Bros.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm sure it'll be something along the lines of that. They might have no, Bowser's. I'm trying to think if anybody from Odyssey would maybe be in it, but there wasn't really anybody that stood out that I could see as maybe one of those rabbit things, the Broodals.
Yeah.
Then I'll say
they're not really exciting though.
Yeah, I'll say the generic thing that everybody says every year, Goku.
It'd be awesome.
It'll happen one day.
Maybe if that ever did happen, that reveal would just holy crap, that'd be insane.
It would.
Man,
the Celeste main character.
Yeah. I could see Celeste being kind of fun.
Yeah.
She doesn't really attack anything, but she has that cool dodge ability she uses. I don't know how you could do that in combat per se.
What about this for E3? They showed the gameplay, then we see Noctis swing in and start kicking ass, and then after that, Final Fantasy 15 Switch Edition announced.
Oh man.
That'd be pretty wild. I was gonna guess Noctis maybe.
Wasn't Noctis already in another fighting game though?
He was in that Dissidia shit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that kind of doesn't count because it's a Square Enix game.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something, but I forgot what I was thinking about.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I can't remember what I was gonna say either.
Something about Smash.
I want the Vault Boy from Fallout.
It's a fun one.
Yeah.
What if you think Bayonetta will make a return?
Yes.
With the remasters now on Switch. And then
with Bayonetta 3, a Switch exclusive, that she's essentially a Nintendo character now.
Yeah.
So she'll for sure be in there.
I am really excited to play those games.
Yeah, I played the first 4 hours of Bayonetta 1 on PC, and it's awesome.
So. I like that there's like a discount on the Switch too.
Yeah.
So I'm not just paying like $80 for both of them. But that's I can't really think of anyone else.
That's all my ideas. We already talked about it previously. So
yeah, Sam, I apologize for not reading your question beforehand.
Hey, well, we answered it,
man.
We did. Yeah. It would have flowed a bit better had I said it before, but it's all good.
Let's just stop the podcast. Let's start over.
Yeah, good idea.
All right, Preston, you want to bring us back in from the beginning?
Yeah.
Let's scrap everything we've talked about so far. Rilla says, "Boys, I'm back. I don't remember if y'all got back to me about your ideal GTA 6 game, but I'll let it slide."
Did we?
Side note, Rilla, we did, I think, last episode or the episode before.
Actually, we probably didn't because we don't respect any questions from you.
That is a lie. Don't listen to Preston.
That is a lie. I'm sorry. I respect you very much.
I think we answered it last week or the week before, I believe. But anyway, he goes on to say, "At Direct, I was hoping for some more information on the next Pokemon main series, but we didn't get it. So I was wondering, if you could design 3 starter Pokemon, fire, water, grass, what would you theme them around? I saw around the time Sun and Moon were released a really cool concept for a crab water starter based off pirates. I ended as a water steel large crab with a metal cannon on its arm. It was named Crabton." Thanks in advance, boys.
So I'm going to help Nintendo out here.
Okay.
They have so many great ideas. They have an ice cream Pokemon. They have a keychain Pokemon. Let's make a fire starter. That's a pile. It's a campfire. Let's have that be our starter. Then we'll have a puddle of water will be the water starter, and then a little shrub, little weed will be the grass one.
That's basically Bulbasaur.
Just put eyes on them. There you go.
What if there was a Pokemon that was sort of like a dinosaur with fire abilities?
That exists.
Or maybe like a water starter that's like a turtle or something.
Dude, I think that
kind of looks like a rodent as well.
I think that exists too. I think so.
Or maybe just like a little squirrel creature with an electric tail. It's the first thing that popped into my mind. Just a couple ideas I have.
Those are pretty good.
No,
what would you call him?
I don't know what I would call him, but I think he would be yellow, and I don't think he would even be water, grass, or fire. I think he'd be like electric or something.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw that out there. I think we need a new element in Pokemon. I think it's going to be electricity.
I think we need plastic as a new element.
Ah, good call.
Plastic.
And it'll be a Plastoba is the Pokemon, and it looks like a.
It's like a. What is it? Like Tupperware.
Yeah.
It's like a piece of Tupperware.
What's Plastoba weak to?
Plastoba's weak to all elements. It's just the laughing stock of the Pokemon community.
It's weak to everything. Is bad against everything.
Right.
Yeah.
It'll melt in fire. It can get filled up with water and weighted down.
I guess.
I don't know what plant's supposed to do to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would actually kind of hurt the plant.
Maybe it's just neutral to plants.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is Plastoba microwave safe? Can he withstand the heat?
That's what I was wondering. Like radiation might destroy him or whatever.
Yeah, this doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
How does a microwave work? Is it radiation?
Microwaves?
Yeah, it's nuclear
radiation.
Nuclear waves.
What?
Can't think of anything right now.
I think it's microwaves. Hence the name microwave.
Microwaves.
No way. No way. It uses microwaves.
Waves of what specifically?
Of microwaves.
Is it a small wave?
Energy.
Yeah, microwaves. Small waves that are micro.
Energy which puts off heat.
Yep.
Rilla, thank you for your question. I hope that helps. Yeah, I hope we see
let's get the trainers involved.
Let's,
if you're at a Pokemon, throw them fists up and let's fight as the trainer.
I really hope in this new Switch game that the Pokemon are the trainers and the trainers are the Pokemon.
Yes, capture trainers.
It's about time that they have their respect, because they're always being trapped in these Pokeballs. Why can't the humans be trapped?
Yeah.
Think about it.
We need a revolution in the Pokemon universe.
Yeah.
Hey, let's reflect on that idea in dead silence for about 5 seconds. The air just came on. All right, we're back. Rilla, thank you for your question. Butters89 says, Ellas, I don't know if he meant to say fellas or I just copy and pasted it incorrectly. Fellas, if Nintendo was to finally be a team player and make a Pokemon game for the Switch, what kind of game would you want it to be? Personally, I would want all the Pokemon games combined, every single region, and you have to go through it like Ash does. Start in Kanto, go to the Orange Islands, Johto, and so on.
That'd be awesome.
With a massive online hub where you could battle with your friends and strangers. Let me know what you guys think, and keep it frosty, fellas.
Sounds way too ambitious for Nintendo.
That's the thing, though. I think about Breath of the Wild. They can do an open world like that. Do something with Pokemon similar. I mean, obviously, it can't be like Breath of the Wild Pokemon, but if they can make an open world of that size, do something with Pokemon with a big world where you can traverse it and battle people and go all over the place, different regions and whatnot. Different gyms and different regions you can travel to.
I mean, if they were ever going to do it, the Switch would be a good time to do something just different, but I just don't see them doing that.
I think Preston's right. I think we'll get a little tease or update at E3.
I hope so.
So I think we deserve one.
Just give me like anything. I don't even need gameplay. Just give me something.
Certainly.
Just want to know it exists. Still.
Preston, what do you think?
Yeah, his idea sounds cool. I think we talked about this a while ago or during our post E3 discussion, and I really have no clue what I don't think I'm a big enough like Pokemon fan, and I haven't been like dreaming about what they can do, and I just can't really think of anything like crazy that they could do. So I guess my only hopes for being a very casual Pokemon fan is I would love to just see just the Pokemon games they've been doing just on a bigger scale with just, way, better graphics, bigger worlds to explore, have better exploration, just,
I mean,
just typical stuff like that.
Ideally for me, I'd want it to be all 3D, like kind of like Breath of the Wild, but battles are taking place in real time, where like something just pops out of the grass or something, like it literally just pops out, and you instantly fight it.
Yeah,
it would still be turn based, but it wouldn't be like it wouldn't be like a little ding 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 ding, and it would cut to a new screen. It would just be seamless,
kind of like Persona style, where you're in and out of combat pretty quickly.
Yeah. Something like that.
I mean, Persona cuts away though.
Yeah, there is a cutaway in Persona.
Yeah, but it is like it's like a brief animation when you get into little mini fights.
I'm fine with that because I think that's probably what it's going to be.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I just kind of expect it to be more like the 3DS games, the newer ones.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Just they look pretty.
Which they don't look bad on the 3DS,
Yeah.
Arguably, some of the best they've made have been the newer ones. So.
Okay.
Besides X and Y.
Okay. That brings us to news nugs. A couple news nugs this week to end the episode. Garrett may appear in Soul Calibur. This comes courtesy of Allegra Frank of Polygon. She says, according to a tweet from a community lead, Marcin Moment, it sounds like Garrett will be a guest star in the game due out later this year.
Smash Brothers.
Quote, yeah, that'd be really cool too. I think I'd rather see him in Soul Calibur than Smash Brothers, though.
Dude,
get out of here.
Because he reminds me of Raphael from Soul Calibur in a similar sense, but more brutal.
Are either of you going to pick up Soul Calibur?
No.
Maybe. It depends on the lineup in that game.
I'm definitely
That's the determining factor for you?
For me, yeah.
Okay.
He said, what if Garrett was going to step out of the Witcher game for the very first time to make an appearance in one of those upcoming games later this year? I think later this year is the key word there. Keywords.
Yeah, so it's Smash Brothers.
Could be Smash Bros.
Yeah, it could be Smash Bros. Or Soul Calibur. So one of the two.
Snake was in it. Why can't Garrett be?
Right.
Well, because Snake has at one point in its life been on a Nintendo console.
That's true, yeah.
Garrett will never be on one.
What about Garrett from Thief? Think he could be in?
Yes.
Dude, I certainly hope so. I'd make it the perfect
I'm not buying
game.
Smash if he's not in there. So
you should be.
Let's start the petition.
I should be not getting it?
No, he should be in the game. Yeah, but Geralt appearing in either one of those games I think would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Soul Calibur makes more sense, obviously.
Yeah. Speaking of The Witcher, the next Gwent tournament, this is a little story I just thought was so cool. The next Gwent tournament called Gwent Challenger will be held in a salt mine in Poland.
Wow.
That was pretty cool. Just a cool setting for a live event like that. And the venue specifically in the salt mine is been outfitted to look like an old tavern or something, like an old cathedral. It looks super cool. They're going to live stream it from there. And they specifically said, like, if we're going to pay for these big events and these live streams at these Gwent tournaments, we want it to be not only a cool experience for the viewers, but also the people that are participating. Instead of being like, oh, we're just in this, I don't know, office building or just this renovated theater or something to do an event, but they're going, we're going to go to a salt mine in Poland and do it. I'm like, that sounds rad.
Yeah.
So
I wonder how Gwent's doing, like how many people are playing it.
I don't know, man. I told you I avoided it at all cost when I played it in The Witcher 3. It's like, fuck. Every time a guy's like, let's play Gwent. I'm like, I would lose on purpose every single time. I was like, I want this to be over. So I just wanted to be killing monsters. How do you feel about that, Preston? Kind of cool?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Bethesda Game Studios is adding a new studio in Austin, Texas, formerly Battlecry Studios. Todd Howard and company expressed their collaboration in past, and now they're set to work on AAA Bethesda Game Studio titles. And Doug Mellencamp leading a studio director. He formerly worked on The Old Republic, Star Wars Galaxies, and a couple other things for EA in the past.
Notable titles.
Yeah, but that's cool. I think Todd himself was like, we're expanding our horizons a bit, adding Battlecry evolving into a new Bethesda Game Studios. Austin now is what it's called, and we'll be working on AAA titles for them. So
it's pretty cool to see Bethesda kind of become like Ubisoft. They're pretty much on that level. Not that
close.
I mean, they've always had like Sky or Elder Scrolls and Fallout, but
will Battlecry be working on the next Fallout or Skyrim while like Todd Howard's Bethesda Game Studios location? Are they working on like this new IP or whatever?
I don't know.
I guess we'll find out. I think we're bound to hear something at E3. I know we're E3 this, E3 that this episode, but we're nearing that season. So I think it's a safe prediction.
Not too longer.
Pretty cool, though. Speaking of game studios, Neil Druckmann is now the vice president of Naughty Dog. This comes from Sammy Barker of Push Square. He says, Naughty Dog veteran Neil Druckmann has been promoted to the position of vice president at the Californian developer. According to President Evan Wells, this is in recognition of Neil's, quote, expanded role contributing on critical studio-level decisions, end quote. The former programmer will still serve as the creative director in The Last of Us Part 2. He'll be flanked by Anthony Newman and Kurt Marginu, who will act as joint game directors in the hotly anticipated sequel following the departure of Bruce Straley. Meanwhile, Amelia Schatz, I don't know if you pronounce it Schatz or not, and Richard Cambier will serve as lead designers.
Congratulations to him.
Neil Druckmann has come a long way in that company, that's for sure. You gotta ask. I know he's going to be making critical studio-based decisions as vice president going forward, but post Last of Us 2, will he serve as like a creative lead in any of their games going forward? Will he hand the reins off to other people and just be vice president?
Probably.
Man, what a rock
he might
star,
have some
dude.
input, you know.
He's so cool.
He's so cool.
Dude, he is, man.
Dude, you met a vice president. That's crazy.
That's crazy, dude.
That's insane.
So.
It's basically like meeting Mike Pence.
Yes.
Basically.
And he flipped off a guy too. You saw that.
If I see Neil at E3 this year, I'm going to just give him the old tip of the hat and be like, Mr. President. See how he reacts. But that's pretty cool. Valve is going back to developing games. This comes courtesy of Tyler McDonald of COG Connected. He says, quote, Gabe Newell spoke on Valve's focus on hardware in the recent years, calling it, quote, an investment in the future. It continued to say that the artifact is in the first of several games that are going to be coming from us. So that's sort of good news. Hooray! Valve's going to start shipping games again, end quote. And Tyler goes on to say, we know that Valve already has one single player and 3 big VR game. I wanted to say titles, we said games. VR games in development, but whether this new statement means more games outside of these is unclear. So... cool, man. I guess. Half-Life 3? Duh.
It's coming.
Yeah. Preston, does any of this stick out to you in the news nugs?
Yeah.
Just little teeny stories just to add on to the end of the episode.
Valve games are really well-polished, good games for the most. Well,
Team Fortress 3.
Yeah, dude. So I'd like to play more stuff from them.
What about a new Portal? You played Portal, haven't you?
Yeah. I really like
I've
Portal.
only played like 5 seconds of Portal in the past. I can't remember I think it was on Orange. Was it on Orange Box? It was an Orange Box, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, I think that's where I played it.
It's on Steam, right?
It is. I bought Portal 2 during the summer sale or the winter sale for 99 cents.
Wow, that's a great
game
deal.
I need to put on the backlog is Portal.
Yeah.
I always forget that it exists.
Well,
my ever-growing backlog.
Gentlemen, that's the end of the episode, and it was a jam-packed week. I look forward to playing games with all of you this week and beyond in the next 10 days or so.
Yeah, for sure.
I have to leave for work very soon, so it's perfect timing.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, thanks for joining us for this here episode of the It's Obvious Gaming podcast. Please subscribe to us at youtube.com/itsobviousgaming. Also subscribe to us over at Apple Podcasts and leave us a nice review if you would be so kind to do so. That would help us out tremendously in getting in the new and noteworthy. That seems like a
3 years in the making.
Just seems like a very distant goal. But we would love to have your help in reaching this goal. But yeah, and also, like I said, youtube.com/itsobviousgaming. Please subscribe to us there. Check out all of our other content, including Let's Plays, the very rare occasional unboxing and or reactional video that we sometimes do. Man, am I missing anything, Garrett?
I don't think so. I would just say content-wise this week, I know we'll stream a bit. I don't know if we'll have any Let's Plays because this is my last week of finals. I got a lot going on this week with school and a couple work nights as well. So I think we'll stream a couple times. I want to stream some Vermintide and I want to stream Hunt especially. Because Hunt's seen a lot of improvement and I don't totally suck at it like I did originally. So
nice.
Be a fun time. Other than that, we'll see you guys on Discord. Please comment on YouTube. Anything you have to say about, I mean, obviously we can continue the discussion in Discord, but any immediate thoughts on this episode, if you are willing to hop on over to YouTube and be like, blah, 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 or just be like, F off and die. You can say that if you want. Any comment helps this channel grow. So anything you have to say, we'd love to hear from you on YouTube.
Tell me that me not being aroused by fish sex is wrong. Tell me that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Please explain that.
Shape of water.
Well,
more like shape of that fish dick. Right?
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
Man,
you can actually buy a dildo.
Why does the fish have to have a dick?
There's a Twitter headline I saw. You can buy the dildo version of that fish man's genitals.
Wow.
I've already invested naturally.
Yeah. You bought a couple of them, didn't you?
I did. Comes free with fish slime to lubricate it. It's actually really crushed smart. Up. What are those fish eggs called? Fancy fish
caviar.
Dish. Yeah, it's crushed up caviar. You can slosh all over it.
Nice.
To get the real experience.
Wow.
Nice.
That's great. Well, with that note, thanks for joining us again, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week.
You guys have a wonderful week.
Yeah, goodbye.
Bye-bye.